understand it, don't have to hide. If you hurt my friends, then you hurt my pride. I gotta be a man, I can't let it slide. I am a real American, fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American, fight for what's right, fight for your life. I feel strong about right and wrong, and I don't take trouble for very long. I got something deep inside of me. Courage is the thing that keeps us free. I am a real American, fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American, fight for what's right, fight for your life. I am a real American, fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American, fight for what's right, fight for your life. Can't let it slide. I am a real American, fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American, what's right, fight for your life. I am a real American, fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American, fight for what's right.
Right now, we need Donald Trump.
I am a real American, fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American, fight for what's right, fight for your life.
Hey, Donnie Cates.
Ethan, how you doing, pal?
Good. I'm live right now. Like, people can hear you, so I'm warning you of that right now. Like, I'm actually doing a live stream right now. You want to say hi to Comicsgate?
Well, I would prefer if you and I could have a private conversation. I really would.
Well, I can't because I'm having a very public conversation. But if you want to say hi, Comicsgate, they could hear you right now, and they'd be very happy. 2,000 people.
I understand that, but hey, I understand that, Darius. I get it. We're all good. Everything is good here. I'm just saying that a text. I will. Hey, look. I'll just say this. And you know what? And I'll just say this. All right. Then what I will say publicly here.
Right.
I'm serious when I say that. I can see where you're coming from. Okay. And I'm you know, it is, again, I don't know. That's the conversation, right? And look, you're not going to get this from fucking Scott Snyder. You're not going to get this from anybody else. Like, I'm actually trying to fucking, like, reach out to you here, all right? And if I'm not being as eloquent as I want to be right now, I'd like to leave you with this, but I will say this, man. I will never do anything to try and take food off of anyone's tables.
All right, pal. All right, you have a good one. See you later. Woo!
Feel like it's Halloween. It's Halloween, Halloween. When you smoke on the house, you make me feel like it's Halloween, Halloween. It's Halloween, Halloween. You cut me off from my friends, you cut me off from my family. I'm in misery. Each day I fall to my knees, I see the writing is on the wall. Now I'm in withdrawal. Feel like it's Halloween, Halloween. It's Halloween, Halloween. And when you smoke around the house, you make me feel like it's Halloween, Halloween. It's Halloween,
Halloween. Thank goodness for YouTube. See if I've played with my microphone here a little bit. She did. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. I guess this is going to be called the Later Gators Show. I'm like so busy during the day. Get a nap. I wake up early in the morning, which is to most of you late at night. And it's time to live stream. And so that's good. I was looking for a name. People had various names. Some wiseacre in the chat came up with Later Gators. And I was like, that's good marketing. That's damn good marketing. How are you guys? Let me check in on you and just see. David L says, just start this shit show already. David, oh ye of little faith. Let me see. Oh, this is important right here. Closing in 45 minutes. Terror in the trenches. Oh, that's our friend Von Klaus. Von Klaus's Terror in the Trenches is about to close. Well, that campaign has been shadow banned by Indiegogo because of decapitations and so on and so forth. Wow, it really is shadow banned. Hard to find here. You have to find it through BackerKit. Son of a bitch. Everything's a nightmare all the time, nonstop. I found it though, so don't worry. It took me a little bit of rerouting. See, is this the right? I want to have the comic books. I'd rather not have this in frame if I don't have to, but hold on a second here. Everything gets moved. You don't understand, guys. This is a production facility. A lot of stuff is going on here all the time that you are not aware of. When the show isn't on the air, things are happening around here. It's crazy. All right, so hold on. Let's take a look at our friend Von Klaus's Terror in the Trenches. Oh, the perfidy of Indiegogo. Messing up Terror in the Trenches for Von Klaus. Very good. Look how close he is to six figures. How is that fair? He should be six figures easily. Here's why. Von Klaus. Time stops when EBS isn't streaming. Yeah. Yeah, this guy's a drug addict. Look at him. Yeah, this is great, man. Is the villain, huh? Or is that the hero? Lots of villains. Terror in the Trenches. Incredible. That actually looked really, really good. No wonder Von Klaus is Von Klaus. I had a question about that. I was like, why is Von Klaus Von Klaus? Well, because he does Terror in the Trenches. This is looks like he's got a copy already. Fantastic looking comic book. Looks like it's coming to fruition. Fruition at last. And it is magnificent. This is, of course, about a character named Black Terror, who's now in the public domain. He was a comic book character from the golden age of comics, which means the 1940s. And yeah, he's fallen into the public domain. Anybody can use him and tell their own stories about him. So Von Klaus has decided he's going to do that. And it's no wonder, because the initial design with the skull and crossbones on the chest is pretty neat. You know, all you really have to do is put your own spin on it. And I don't know if this was in the original. I don't know if this is in the original book or not. But Von Klaus has him huffing chemicals. It looks like so that he can't feel pain, which is why I drank at Sesame Place today. The same exact thing. I'm kind of like Black Terror in a way here. Look at this, amazing. Yeah, this is awesome. Terrific looking work. And I don't know. I think that you guys should back this if you haven't already. This is what Comicsgaters do. Comicsgate sees a good book like this and they back it. And it looks like they have, but maybe you haven't. Add this to your collection. Look at this grave, dude. That is awesome. I feel like taking a picture next to that. Be totally awesome. Yeah. Oh, he's got like some kind of fucking, what is this? Some kind of squid mask on. This is cool, dude. Vaughn, great job. Look at the action. You got Nazi stormtroopers, the real kind. You know, this is how an SJW sees themselves, fighting Nazis on the internet. Great work. Good enough to work for the big leagues. And by the way, Von Klaus tells a pretty good story too. His writing is magnifique. Really, really good. IMAV says, what are your thoughts on our colleges? Well, I think that they're gay, but if you go there and you learn a little something, that's good. A lot of people do. They go there and they get some kind of art degree, and it can take somebody with you know, no talent and give them a skill, give them a know-how, and maybe make them a decent you know, artist. I think you should learn something about art. Maybe I'm just coping and seething because I didn't get to go. I would have liked to have gone to an art school. That would have been cool. Simply Green says, that is begging for an animation. Dude, you're not kidding, man. You're not kidding. Here's Nalo says, wow, just looking at old intros and now are live. Yeah, we're live. Hold on a second here. See where you guys are. I have to figure out what your opinions are of things. Nalo says, are you a fan of Ed Brubaker and Professional Relation? I've never met Ed Brubaker. I've read a couple of his books and he's great. But he's one of those guys who I just never really ran into at conventions. So we don't have a professional relation. Nalo, I assume until it's proven to me otherwise, until somebody says something like in private, that everybody in the mainstream hates me. You're not the things that I say and do here on this show break all kinds of rules and taboos about the comic book industry. I spill the tea. I drop drop the spaghetti or spill the spaghetti? Is that when you're spurging? What is spaghetti? Dropping the spaghetti? I do that too. And I just assume that Ed Brubaker probably doesn't like me. I think that's a fair assumption, even though I've never even met him. It's obvious you hate me, though I've done nothing wrong. I've never even met Ed, so what could I have done? Mandy Summers is here. Hello, Mandy Summers. Shout out to Michael Bancroft as well. He says, I went to design college. It's like art school, but you actually get a job out of it. There you go. Go to design school instead. Kevin Ryan says, Ethan needs to figure out our opinions so he can just summarily ignore them. You think I do that obstinately on purpose? You think I just stubbornly figure out what it is that you guys think, just so I can. How far we guys? Let's get back close together again. This is terrible. Yeah, Comicsgate doesn't try to silence criticism or pressure people behind the scenes while being ungrateful and pretending you're an island that owes nothing to anyone. Yeah. EVS, what it is. It is what it is, world-renowned GeoHound, and welcome to the show. You're a newbie around here, but you seem wise beyond your years. Dumbledore says, will there be a Comicsgate Kings this week? Yeah, there will. I got to apologize. I have been... Oh, hold on a second. Before I say yes, there will. Let me just double check something. Phillies schedule. They're playing... wait. They're playing today, which is Monday at 5:07. Yes, there will be a Comicsgate Kings tomorrow. We'll absolutely do it. Shout out to Camelot. What's up, brother? Good to see you in the chat as well. You guys don't understand, the Phillies are killing it, and I was there. I mean, I took my dad to a bunch of games. I've been following the team closely. I'm watching every single game. And Phillies finally won again, so they're up 3-2. Tomorrow they should close out the series and go to the World Series. So I got to watch that. Josiah Haynes says, who's your favorite writer of all time? Favorite writer of all time. Let me see. First, I have to think. Have I ever read a book? Have I ever read a book? Not gossipy political articles. I've read those. Let me see. Can we think about nonfiction? Not nonfiction. Mostly when I read books at all, it's historical fiction. I mean, historical nonfiction, biographies and things like that. That's mostly what I read, so those don't count. I mean, do I have a favorite author? Yeah, I'm gonna have to disappoint you. I don't think I do have a favorite writer of all time. When it comes to, maybe you mean comics. Who do I like working with the best? Oh, it's Jeff Johns. I like Grant Morrison. I like a lot of different comic book writers. But I must reveal to you that I don't read fiction. Does Patrick S. Tomlinson count? I'm reading he's my favorite writer of all time. I'm reading one of his books now. It's fucking trash beyond belief. That man must have a dent in his head. He's got a soft skull. That is a horrible stuff. Will there be a post Kang? Says Dr. Metalblood. I'm not sure about that. That's up to our boy John Malin. Mandy Summer says, how you feel about Bryce Harper? Feeling pretty good, man. I gotta say, feeling pretty good, man. Feeling pretty good, man. Feeling pretty good. I like Bryce Harper. I like the things that he says. He's a good team captain, and he's doing all right. Yurashi Mataru says, everyone knows EVS catalogs all of our opinions. Yeah, please give me your opinions about everything, because I run them through like a machine that catalogs them and then spits out percentages. I got to know what things to believe and say. Yeah, but see, this is Jonathan Lopez. That's what I'm saying. That's, biography, that's nonfiction. I mean, I'll read a lot of political books and things like that. But really, when was the last time I read just a fiction book? Why would I do that? Just sit back and read some fiction. I mean, I guess I could say Tolkien would be my favorite. I have read all of Tolkien's books. Maybe it's the Book of Mormon. Maybe it's Joseph. Maybe it's Joseph Smith, Thomas Fitzpatrick. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't get to read. I can't imagine what it must be like for those of you who can sit back with a novel, and just sort of. I can't imagine what that's like. I don't have time to do that. Sitting back and play. Here's the two things that I look at and I go, how in the world do people do this? One, playing video games. How do you play video games? Because I would get addicted. I'd get sucked into the world of Super Mario Kart. I know I would. I'd be obsessed. I'd be I live in the world of Super Mario Kart if I could, but I just don't have time to do that at all. No time. That's one thing. And by the way, these video games, these video games, they take a long time to play. I mean, they take a lot out of your life. When I'm on Twitter for too long, Andrea comes downstairs and goes, "What are you doing on here?" And I have to look at her and go, "Fucking around, doing, wasting time." She goes, "Oh, your family's upstairs." Yes, ma'am. Like, even that is too much of a time suck. Just telling SJWs to go fuck themselves. Too long. Takes too long. That and reading books. WR Winter says, "Where's the Patrick Tomlinson review?" It is coming. I got to finish the whole thing. I read about 4 chapters of this piece of shit. And just when I'm going to do a review of this book, nothing happens in this book. But I got to finish it, and it is a slog. Mandy says her favorite writer is Garth Ennis. Favorite novelist is Tom Perrotta. See, Mandy reads. Josiah Haynes says, "I'm talking comic writers, you big fat dummy." Okay, now you're now you're in my league here. Now you regress to my level. Yeah, I would say Grant Morrison, not Alan Moore. Garth Ennis, I like quite a lot. Garth Ennis is really, really good. I like a lot of these guys. I like Warren Ellis. Most of the writers I like are people who have sexually harassed the young ladies in comics. I really like that. I also like cult leaders. I admire them. Warren Ellis, quite a good cult leader. "No, child, you are not reading my amazing science fiction novels. These are your delusions again," says Kumar Singh. "No, I am. For real, Patrick. I'm reading your shitty..." Oh, it's so bad, dude. His novels are so bad. They don't go anywhere. I mean, you read his book, it just doesn't go anywhere. You're just like, oh, this is just a chance for you to be silly. Oh, here's another chapter where really the punchline was you being silly and pseudo clever. I got it. I don't want to spoil what my review will be. It'll be in depth. I'll really take you into the world of Patrick S. Tomlinson. Oh boy. It's true. Here's Ryan Tyler Palmer, who calls himself the inexorable word nerd, which I mean, nobody I know would self-apply that moniker, as it were. "Let's do better as independents. Since I started, all I want to do is make culture." You mean bacteria? And make others better. I can do it. It's important to like yourself. It's important to feel it's important to kind of believe in yourself. Here's a homosexual. Eric Debunks says, "Daddy Ethan with the tank top tonight. Work." What's up, weirdo? Nice to have you in the chat as well. Let me see. Catching up with everything. Oh, Crichton. Oh, yeah. Look, I mean, I'm not much of a reader. My when it comes to like science fiction and stuff, really, I mean, my taste is that of your average punter. I mean, I really, but I did read Jurassic Park when I was a kid. Of course I did. My God, when that book came out, that lit my imagination on fire. It's so common now. I mean, you really think Jurassic Park is just part of the world, but man, the idea for a young kid who wanted to be a paleontologist when he grew up and instead became this, and the idea of extracting DNA from insects, blood-sucking insects, found in crystallized, fossilized in amber, because they would be preserved. Some blood cells, dinosaur blood cells, blew my mind. That was ingenious. I still have to hats off to Michael Crichton. God, that just lit my imagination on fire, and that's what good stories should do. I just thought about the possibilities of that for a decade. I still am thinking about the possibilities of that. Where are my dinosaurs? Where is my woolly mammoth? Woolly mammoths. We were promised the return of woolly mammoths. They should be here by now. No, they don't. You're just old, says my. Ethan loves to read Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey, says Dumbledore. I did read a Twilight book, some of it, because I was challenged to read it. I saw the movie. I said, "There's nothing that happens here." This movie, like, is there's nothing happening in this movie. There's no plot. There's no. I mean, the weird thing about Twilight is literally there's nothing happens. It's for girls. Like, girls really don't know how. They don't like. What is it? Like, if you watch, Andrea watches the Hallmark Channel now, and she's like, I don't know, it's just cozy. I like the Hallmark Channel. I like when they do their Christmas specials. And I watch some of them with her, and I'm like, this is damn cozy. There's no story. I mean, the story is essentially nerdy, klutzy girl who you insert yourself. Basically, that's you, the viewer. You're like, I'm a nerdy, klutzy woman. Nerdy, klutzy woman who's sort of pretty, but not too pretty. She's doing something for the holiday, but she's a little bit lonely. She doesn't have a man in her life. And then the perfect man comes in, who's, by the way, perfect. He's wealthy. He's handsome. He's innocent. You know what I mean? He's not entangled at all. Like, he has no woman in his life really or anything. Or if he does, like, no, he doesn't. He never does. I was thinking maybe he does, but she's kind of a bitch and they're going to break up. No, that's a movie. That's a real movie. No, he doesn't have, he's just like, he meets this nerdy klutzy girl and he's just like, I don't know. Maybe he's nerdy and klutzy too together. And it's like just a meet cute. And then at the end of the whole thing, they have Christmas together. There's no like entanglements. There's no real problem to overcome except how am I going to decorate how am I going to decorate the community center in time for Christmas when I also have a crazy life going on? And he shows up and he fixes it all with her. And then that's what women like. Women like that. Women don't want to be stressed out by things. So, Twilight, there's no plot. 50 Shades of Grey, I got to imagine there's slightly more of a plot than Twilight, but I never read it. It's just a woman letting a handsome psychopath abuse her sexually, but she likes it. This is the kind of stuff that women like. You know, we can't let them fuck with comics. They'll take the stories right out of it. They really will. Here's Caleb Reynolds who says, "Sup, Uncle E." Caleb, it's nice to see you back in men's clothing again. Dan says, "Where is Rainbow the Brute? Have you forgotten it?" No, you guys, listen. When you don't see me live streaming, I got people going, where are the live streams? Where are you online? I'm working. I'm actually drawing and doing the things that when I'm on a live stream, you guys abuse me about. How come you're live streaming and not working? How come you're not live streaming? What are you doing? Drawing comics. That's what I'm doing. You guys have to understand. I'm just one. I know I look like 6 or 7 men, but I'm actually just one man. I can only manage so much on my schedule. Let me see. Oh, Miller. Yes, Mark Miller is awesome. It's between my favorite Mark Miller and Eric Juki, says my beautiful dark twisted faggotry. Eric Medved, thanks for $20. Got my EVS, got my Cyberfrog toys, the whole set. Effing fantastic. Oh, that's good. Yeah, they are. I mean, they really are good. I mean, that's the one thing, I haven't seen too many bad reviews of the Cyberfrog toys, except there are some people who are like super into action figures. Even they say they're really good for somebody's first try. But all of the reviews are good. There's just a couple of people who are like, I wish you had a waist swivel or the ab crunch worked better. People who were like, more into the articulation than the actual thing. I guess when I do Rumblebee and Salamandroid and little Lily Owen, I'll be more careful to do the articulation a little bit more. Let me see. Got my honeycomb box. About to start over again and read all the modern Cyberfrog updated books in order. You should do that. Yes. Also got my CG Comic Pros Hate You hoodie. What's next for all caps? Oh my God. Oh yeah. So I should say this. I will tell you the answer to that question. And thank you, Eric Medved. First of all, all of our stuff, all of that, well, not all of it. What am I talking about? All the hats and beanies. I got a long way to go. are up on our store, our eBay store, Cyberfrog 9. The link is in the description. Just go shop our eBay store. If you go to the description, you'll find it. All of our hats and beanies are up there right now. These are all one size fits all because they're all adjustable, but they're there. Also, there's still a few red sales that I haven't fixed. I got to go in there and fix all the red sales. These have been red sales since the 4th of July, and I've just been like so preoccupied I haven't been able to fix them. But I am slowly going through them and restoring their price back to 100%. This would be like the 40% off price, so this would normally be $25, et cetera, et cetera. I'm catching them as I can and kind of fixing them. But in the meantime, you can still catch a pretty good deal by going through it. Like the blacklight posters I got to fix, they're $30 right now. They're not meant to be $30. Go through and if you want to, grab all the stuff that you don't have. Also, of course, all the like Comicsgate and the All Caps Comics baseball caps are up and available. Everything ships within 24 hours. So if you order it tonight or this morning, it'll go out today. And you'll probably have it in a day or two, you know. Mail's pretty reliable around here. So go check out our eBay store. I got to have Andrea do, she's got to go through all the t-shirts and then count the sizes that we have. We don't have too many. All the really beautiful Comicsgate t-shirts that we got in. We don't have too many of them. I didn't over-order them. I just ordered a wide variety of them. So there are like 7 or 8 different t-shirts. But we have limited quantities of them. So I'll list what we have. Hopefully we'll get that done today. I got to go in. Let me see here. Hunter's coming into the warehouse this morning. I got labels all printed out. These are this is fairly a lot of labels. These are some second chance wrecked planets that are all going out today. Had 4 people working, four kids in the warehouse. When I say kids, I mean they're in their mid-20s. That's how old I am. But I had kids in the warehouse putting together a bunch of, what did they do? I said, I need 267 all-ins. No, not all-ins. 4 new books in a folder, which ended up being 8 books in a folder. All of those got packed up, 267 of them. So I'm printing out the labels. I think 100 of them already went out in the mail. What's next for All Caps? We're working on a couple of things. We're going to do we're going to add a nice version of the Diary of Heather Swain, 1998, the Diary of Heather Swain, with a couple of new covers. One is the one that you've seen before of Cyberfrog holding up the Vespa's head, and it's really beautiful. The other is a new cover of Heather Swain, like lying on her bed and writing in her diary while the Vespa's invade outside the window. That's the new variant cover, and we're gonna do those. They're gonna be full size books instead of they were printed as ash cans. I mean, that book's pretty important. I got people like reading it and going, "There's a lot of lore in here. I didn't realize I needed to read this." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, this and Salamandroid Death Sting, both of those books have a lot of actual like lore. I would say things that are gonna lead into." The next couple of Cyberfrog books, they're going to kind of they're precursors to those. So I've made a new version of that with 2 new covers, and it says Cyberfrog 1.5 on it. A lot of people ask me like, what order do I read the Cyberfrog books in? And I was a smarty pants when I first started this. My whole thing was why put numbers on the books? Like, why do that? Why go Cyberfrog 1, 2, 3? Just make them, like Harry Potter novels with different titles. And that is fine and good, except that, I mean, these books do kind of go in order. They are kind of installments of a larger story. So that's not so. And people, once you get a bunch of them finished, people go, I don't understand. How do I read them? We do have to kind of follow the manga model a little bit more. What's next for All Caps besides that? So that's going to be up on the Dark Harvest campaign. I'm going to add that to Dark Harvest. I don't know, maybe this week. And then the other thing is Rainbow the Brute action figure. Rainbow the Brute is underway right now. And while we're putting it together, while we're putting the finished campaign together, I think it would be good to have an action figure. I don't know if I'm going to do Rainbow the Brute 2 or not. If I do, it'll be somebody else drawing it, because I want to stick with Cyberfrog. But Rainbow the Brute needs an action figure, so I got to get started on it now. I want to ship Rainbow the Brute like spring, summertime. So let's get the action figure started. I think I got it underway. I've got the sculptor working on it. Sculptor did a really nice sculpture already of it, digital sculpture, but he's too realistic. He looks real, like he's every muscle fiber is accounted for. He looks like a real barbarian. My attitude about Rainbow the Brute is that he's a cartoon character. I want him to be a little bit more Popeye than Conan the Barbarian. You know what I mean? Like he should be a little bit more funny looking. So I gave him the original drawing. I gave the sculptor the original drawing that I did and said, make it look exactly like this. Not like, don't do your interpretation of it. I would like it to look like my drawing. That would be nice. So I should see something pretty soon about that, and we'll see. Brad Thor will bring you up to speed with Chuck Dixon. I don't know what that means. Is that a threat? Wooden Chat says, be like Nerdrotic, Ethan. Just listen to audiobooks and tell everyone you read all these books. Yeah, but see, what is the difference though? You endured hearing fiction. I guess it's more work. It's more challenging for your brain to actually read. But I mean, knowing having the content of the book uploaded into your brain, isn't that basically the same thing? Recognizing words and like letter patterns is what reading is all about. But I don't know if it's I don't know what the difference is. I would listen to some audiobooks, but I'm too busy listening to Revenge of the Sis. Those podcasts. I'm busy listening to just fucking YouTube nonsense when I'm drawing. I just want to chill. All right, let me see here. Where are we? Oh yeah, and the Dick Masterson show. Let me catch up with you guys. Ray Bradbury was pretty rad, says Apple Pitts. Ethan reads a lot My Little Pony fan fiction. I read My Little Pony / fiction. That's what I do. Alfonso Lopez, thanks for looks like $2. Says, hey Ethan, hope you're doing fine. How are things with Rainbow the Brute? They're good. Things with Rainbow the Brute are all right. Don't worry, guys. EVS, he got the idea after he met blood-sucking lawyers, says Billy. John Malin wears werewolf skin, like from Goosebumps, says Manoho. Here's the homosexual dude again. I took a break from dyeing my beard to come in and do drag while watching your stream. Is this is this the real guy? Is he this self-aware? Oh, and to troll a little bit, just being transparent here. Oh, well, goodness me. How are we going to survive your trolling, Eric? Old Man Yelling at Cloud says, Ethan reads Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys to put him asleep at night. My dad wanted me to read all those books. He had them when he was a kid, and they were over, when I was 8. I got his Hardy Boys collection. They were in various states of disrepair. But, I mean, I was able to read a lot more when I was a kid. My mom used to when summertime came around, she said, you're going to be reading 5 books this summer. You're not just going to lay around the house and ride your bike. And I'd say, Mom, when I'm reading books, I'm laying around the house. I'm just reading a book. You realize that, right? She's like, just read a book. So I had to read Treasure Island when I was a kid. And I really liked it. You had to really force me to read a book when I was a kid. But when I was reading books, I really liked them. I would get involved in them. So I had to read Treasure Island so my mom would leave me alone. Hold on a second. Let me catch up with you guys. You're still talking about the Hallmark Channel here. I'm way behind with the chat. I'm still waiting for a ton of action figures, says Kalia. We've got to go faster. World-renowned GeoHound. Don't yell at me, EVS, but what's got me into comics presently is being introduced to quality manga and the Spider-Man 2. But how did I become the guy that people go, Ethan hates manga? I got to convince Ethan to like manga, or I got to tell Ethan guiltily that I like manga. I don't care at all. Like, I mean, at all. People are like, you have to read manga. I'm like, it's not for me. Why not? I don't know. Then I make the mistake of actually explaining why it was never for me. I don't know. Looks like it's kind of for girls. It's just tried to read it a couple times. I was bored by it. Not really into it. For girls. You think manga's for girls? Well, let me introduce you to 75 other manga books that aren't for girls. They're definitely for guys. Okay, thank you. Listen, Ethan thinks manga's for girls. Holy shit. Ethan, you think manga's for girls? Let me introduce you to my 7 or 8 waifus. What the fuck is going on now? What is this? And I got people who basically say things like this. I mean, it's like, I don't care. Enjoy what you like. It's just not for me. People are trying to get me into manga. Listen, I'm 50 years old. I'm not going to get into anything like manga. I'm just not going to. Hit me at the wrong time. I mean, when I was, a teenager, Robotech was people have Robotech comics. And I would sort of look at them and go, yeah, I kind of like Robotech, I guess. I like the toys. But I was a Marvel zombie. I was not into that stuff. I'm still the same way. I really like the American comic book aesthetic. And I don't think it's going to happen. And by the way, I tried to read Chainsaw Man because I said, oh, well, actually, when people were trying to get me to, you're like Scientologists. When people were trying to get me to get into manga, they said, yeah, but what about Chainsaw Man? And I said, well, what's Chainsaw Man? And they showed me, I said, it's a guy with a fucking chainsaw for a face. And I went, I got to admit, that's cool. And I started reading Chainsaw Man, and it was, listen, guys, it's, anyway, Carson Depp says, I just got my CG baseball cap. I do embroidery. You've seen my work on the Cyberfrog hoodie I sent you. It's in the next room. The embroidery on the hat is first rate. Oh, it's nice. Thank you, Carson Depp. And thank you, by the way, for that hoodie that you made me way back when. Really is nice. Yeah, I mean, Chainsaw Man was just like, I can't relate to this kid in any way. Like, I'm trying to just understand what he's doing, but like, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't get it. Culturally, I don't, it's not for me. I mean, it as Eric July would say, it could just be a cultural thing. Maybe it is. Cyberfrog audiobook. Reading guarantees you're processing the information. Audiobook does not. Yeah, you would think so, but like I'll read and I'll drift off and I'll realize I have to go back 3 pages because I was distracted and I'm not paying attention. Let me tell you something. There isn't a lot of time for me to sit there undistracted, not being tugged at, to read and process the information in the book too. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just my thing. Audiobooks are good for rereads. Yeah, like I was really into The Shining again last year. I had to watch all of these conspiracy theory videos about what The Shining actually meant, and I believe every single one of them. And so then I watched the movie again, of course, and then I had the audiobook. I listened to the Stephen King audiobook, which is a completely different experience. And Stephen King, here's the thing that I learned about Stephen King from and horror in fiction from Stephen King's The Shining. Like, what works in a book doesn't necessarily work on the screen, because he made a literal like there's the Shining movie, which is it's upsetting on like a psychic level. There's something about it that's it's really unnerving. There's way more under the surface that isn't explained. It's a bizarre movie where all of these horror tropes where things are usually they take place in the dark. Horrible, ghosts and things are presented to you fully lit by artificial lighting, and it's really unsettling. It really is brilliant. But yeah, you look at Stephen King's version of The Shining, and it is the biggest piece of shit. The idea of the hedge maze animals coming to life and chasing you is so retarded. I mean, it really is retarded. It works like in the book when you're reading it, you're like, oh, that's weird. But if you were to actually see that or give that any thought at all, you would say, this is retarded. So it doesn't work. And Stephen King should have known better than to try to remake The Shining. Like, sorry, dude. He clipped out some of the stuff that you made in your book, but like he made that movie like 1,000 times better than the book could be or ever will be. It's just reality. Don't do that, EVS. Come on. I see. This is the thing. Again, people get angry about it, but I'm just telling you, like, this is what's happening to me. This is my experience. My experience is people saying, hey, Ethan, do you like, I don't know, like anything. It could be like a sandwich. It could be a TV show. And me going, no, I don't literally. It's not for me. And then having a lot of people like try to sell you on it. And I'm like, whoa. Ethan must validate all my hobbies are all orbit remorsefully. Thank you, WR Winter. Yeah, that is what's going on. Whoa. What's your favorite Toto song? Is your favorite Toto song Rosanna or Africa, or what's that other one that I'm singing a piece of? What's that other Toto song? I was asking Andrea this. I said, what's your favorite Toto song? Urashima Taru says, and she, by the way, she didn't know Toto. And she's like, well, sing them all. I had to sing all the songs for her. And then she said, I guess Africa's my favorite. Urashima Taru says, Ethan liked Robotech. Weeb anime faggot confirmed. I mean, when I say I liked it, I mean, I went, oh, yeah. Because I also like Transformers and Voltron. Oh, is Aaron Lepresti in here? Shout out to Aaron Lepresti. What's up? This is the other thing. People try to find something that I'm really going to like in anime. I promise you I won't like it. Slimcrow goes, Ethan, let's piss off another crossover fan base today. I don't need them taking a book from DC. I'm just telling you that I don't. It pisses you off. I just don't like it. I mean, I don't mean to piss anyone off. Maybe Ethan hates the Japanese. Well, listen, some of us have memories longer than goldfishes, and I remember Pearl Harbor. What a sneak attack that was, Pearl Harbor. And you guys are like, well, Harry Truman took care of them. We're all even. Are we? I'm just kidding. Do you think your live stream about Ripa? Now we're getting serious. EVS, do you think your live stream about Ripa will cause CGers to lose out on future RV work? Do you want me to answer that honestly? Or do you want me to just be like, give you a nice PC regular answer that will make you feel better? Do you want me to be honest? Or do you want me to just give you an answer that is going to be good, media friendly, that's going to make you feel better about things? You know, that's the question. I have to just confront you guys and say, what exactly are you looking for with a question like that? You talk about Darvo. I mean, don't put me in a situation like that where I am the perpetrator. Oh, everything's my fault. Shantan Jetty Art says, can I interest you in a manga called Dianetics, the modern science of mental health? You should read it. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Dianetics will change your entire life. Those commercials used to be on TV all the time, Shant. They really sold Scientology very carefully to people back in the 1980s and early 90s. Hold on a second here. Either's going to target the Potterheads next. No, you know what? I'm not going to. I love Harry Potter. I love it. Harry Potter's awesome. Welcome, Harry Potter fans. Welcome. I actually have the Harry Potter gigantic box set of videos over there, like the physical media. I really dislike Harry Potter too. Really don't like it, but I love J.K. Rowling right now. She's terrific. I like her because she's a TERF. TERF. There's a whole vocabulary with like the I don't know, the SJW SJWs who are focused on LGBTQ issues. Cis, TERF, all these fake words that they make up. What is a TERF? Well, it's a trans exclusionary radical feminist. What's that mean? Well, it's a feminist that's like, wait a second, you're a man. We're not fighting for your rights. It's a feminist who basically wasn't fooled. It's a feminist who basically said, wait a second, what do you think? Like, we've been spending 150 years fighting for the rights of women, and somehow now you want us to be fighting for the rights of men? I see how you did that. I see your tricks. I'm not going to be fooled. This is a man. That's a man. That's not a. We're not fighting for the rights of men. We're fighting for the rights of women. Oh, well, now you're a bigot. And me, I mean, to me, and I think, most people who are conservatives, that whole fight is a delight. That is hilarious. SJW's LGBTQ activists versus, feminists who are like, wait a second, these are men. We're not fighting. That's not what feminism is. We just sit back and just eat popcorn. That's wonderful. And that's a way bigger fight than anything that goes on here in this community. That's way funnier. Because I agree with both sides. Both of them have a point. Fight harder. Plush says, Crying Freeman, peep the Mark Dacascos film. Did anybody go and see the new Scorsese film, Killing of the Flower Moon, I think it's called? I always kind of forget the title. I mean to go see it. I told Andrew, I said, Hunter's going to be here tomorrow, so we have a babysitter. We can go see a movie. She says, you can go see it by yourself. I don't. And first what I have to do is say, no, I want to bring you. Like, you're going to come with me. She goes, why do I want to see that? I'm like, because your boy Leo DiCaprio's in it. She's like, I'm more of a Brad Pitt girl. I can't win. I said, look, Leo DiCaprio. And she's like, and I've seen him. Like, he's fat and he's like filthy. I'm like, that's your type, though. Like, that's what you like. I can't get her to go see Killing of the Flower Moon with me. I might have to go see it by myself. Go sit in the audience and watch a 3.5-hour Scorsese film. There's no time for anything. Urash Matar says, TERF are far leftists. They called for one disagreement. They call for TERF are far. I know what TERF are. I just explained what they are. They're radical leftist feminists, right? Jimmy Max goes, I don't even know what the fuck Ethan is talking about. How do you not know? I'm explaining it to you. Here's the advantage of not knowing what I'm talking about. Eventually, I tell you what it is that I'm saying, and then you can learn something. You can learn a little something. You can't sit there and go, I don't know what Ethan's talking about. Then open your ears. I'm telling you, look, there's something. Okay, these weirdos, they have words that the word cis. You've heard cisgendered, right? You've heard that and you've been like, what? What is cisgendered? Oh, it's 99.9% of the world is cisgendered, you see. They've created a word to explain what it is to not be the 0.0001% that is them. Which is, I guess they're right. It's just, don't expect the vast majority of people to use that word. So that's cis. The other weirdo word is TERF, and you'll see people like Joe Glass and other weirdos talking about how, I don't like her. She's a TERF. And what is a TERF? A TERF is a feminist who doesn't think trans women are women. Disagrees on that point. A lot of people are trying to make people believe that trans women are women, and they're not. They're listen, trans women, that's about as far as you get. There's going to be a point where we say there's a difference between trans women and women. There just is. there's a long dangly difference or not. And either way, not interested, says nobody. What the hell? Oh, you mean you're not interested in the Scorsese film? Anthony Perrone says, thank you for being up so late, EVS. I needed this. You're welcome. I'm here to heal. Adama says, hey, Ethan, I got my Cybertruck, Heather, and Vespa's toys. They're really great-looking toys. Way better sculpts than Marvel Legends. Thanks. I appreciate that. I agree with you. And by the way, I can agree with you and not feel like it's not, when I say I think you're right about that. My toys really are great. It's not me bragging, even though it sounds like it. Really, it's me acknowledging the work, the incredible work of the people who made them. People who, did the sculpt. I didn't do that sculpt. The box design, I didn't do that. All of that stuff, the people overseas who actually assembled them all, painted them, they did a good job. Appreciate it. All I had to do was pay them $1 million. That's all. Based, says Geek Hazu. Ethan, if you can't take the criticism from a drag queen named Comely Felcher seriously, what can you say is legit? Listen, I'm good at taking criticism. I listen to the criticism and, Comely Felcher. What the hell? Andrea rejected Ethan. Yeah, she did. Oh, my God. Today was something else. Yeah, I had to go. Like I said, I had to go to Sesame Place today. We all did. Because Ava said, I'm going to go to sleep tonight, and I'm going to dream that I wake up at Sesame Place. I said, we're taking the kid to Sesame Place. You can't say something as cute as that and then not get to go to Sesame Place, So I said, do you want to go to Sesame Place? She said, yes. I said, okay. So I'm going to take you to Sesame Place tomorrow. As long as you're a good girl, you be good. Okay, Daddy. So it's funny. She says, yes, like in a whisper. So, went to Sesame Place with Ava. Woke up this morning. Ava came over to me and gave me a mwah right on the cheek, unprompted, while I was still asleep. She's so excited about getting to go to Sesame Place. And, we took her over there. Very, very crowded. But she had a great time. It was a good use of my day. EVS is excited because Leo looks like him, says Jamie Max. That's right. Me and Leo DiCaprio. Exactly the same. Mark Walters is here, squatting in the chat. Saw it. It's great. It's 3.5 hours long. Thanks, Mark. Thanks for your review. Killers of the Flower Moon. Yeah, that's what it's called. Very excited to see it. I love Scorsese movies. I don't know how many more he's got in him. I'm really scared. We got some people who are teetering right on the brink of death. I don't want to let them go. I was thinking today, Ringo Starr's I don't know, he's in his mid-80s now. Paul McCartney's following right behind him. How old is Paul McCartney? We're gonna live in a world without Beatles pretty soon. Paul McCartney age. Paul's 81 years old. That's old. I hope he still stays out there on tour and still does things. Because I told Andrew, I said, which Beatles going to die first? And she said, John Lennon. I said, no, which Ringo and Paul? John died alone. She was right. EVS has lost the chat, confirmed. Yes, everybody's turned on me. This is terrible. This does feel like a Zack video talking about. Listen, I'm still talking to you guys. I haven't even gotten past my preamble. We're not even talking about the horrible stuff that's going on in comics and Ethan's here to touch you late at night. I am. Your hearts, though. I just mean your hearts. I don't mean your genitals. Just your feelings. CFan says, hey, Ethan, I'm in Australia. I haven't gotten my first wave toys yet. It's something, I like this. It's something going on. Slackers. Just 3 or 4 guys in the warehouse. CFan not doing their job, not shipping their toys to you. We got a ways to go yet. Nothing's going on. We're still working. We still have some toys to ship. Ethan got in a fight with Big Bird. We'll get you your toys. I'll tell them, I want you to go over Australia with a fine-tooth comb. Get those toys out. Ethan is a great father, says Left Nuts. I am. Apple Pit says you should do a Cyberfrog versus Mike Tyson. You should do Cyberfrog versus Mike Tyson. Treasury sized. Yeah, he would try to bite Cyberfrog's ear off and like it wouldn't work. Because Cyberfrog doesn't really have an ear. He has a tympanic membrane. Like all frogs, you know. Cyberfrog versus Mike Tyson. Just do it up like it's Superman versus Muhammad Ali. God, that'd be good. Cyberfrog in the boxing ring. Huh. Here's Cars of Depth says, but think about those little Chinese slave girls going blind painting your figures. Getting poisoned with toxic paints and plastic. What the fuck? Are they of age? Because, you know. Mel Brooks is 98. Yeah, Mel Brooks is on his way out, too. We're losing all these people. 81 years old. And that means Ringo would be like 83. Paul lost his voices years ago, says Alex Campbell. I didn't go to his new concert. I got Depeche Mode coming here to Philadelphia on Wednesday. And, I mean, even though Depeche Mode's new album is not woke, their prior album, I know it's like everything's woke. No, Depeche Mode's album Spirit was woke as fuck, and it sucked. It's a painful listen. It really is humiliating and embarrassing for them. Like I cringed to listen to that whole CD. Like Martin Gore is the right guy who writes Depeche Mode songs. Martin Gore should be writing about like I mean, he's an old man now. That's the problem. Like when he was younger, writing songs about, you know, staying in his room and being miserable and sex and death and all this teenage stuff. He's another one. Like he's got a song that he's got to live with, but he doesn't sing, he doesn't perform it. But he's got a song called "Little 15" that hasn't aged well. You can't write songs about underage kids. You can't do that because eventually, you know, you're going to be 81 years old and then singing about 15-year-olds. But I mean, I heard that song when I was 15 and I was like, that's me. I'm little 15. Fucking gay. Anyway, yeah, like don't write political songs, man. Don't veer off of you know, writing songs about sex and death and religion, which is all Depeche Mode is about, and drugs. And then you know, try to do MSNBC style politics. It's horrible. Anyway, Depeche Mode's new album is not bad. It's not good either, but they're coming to Philadelphia, and I don't think I'm gonna go. And the tickets are cheap too. I looked at tickets; they're like $25 to go see Depeche Mode, and I just went, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go to that. EVS, who will be the Yoko Ono of Comicsgate? That's got to be Yanzi, right? I mean, she's just, I don't know. There's going to be no Yoko Ono of Comicsgate. Oh no, Jamie Mack says my ticker's gone bad. EVS. See you on the flip side. Hope you're okay. I could just do, you know, people like. I could just do a live stream where I listen to you guys. Oh, by the way, here's another thing. Our honeycomb box is being sent out yet. Yes, they're all still waiting in Canada. Listen, we had 15. First of all, it costs a lot of money to ship to Canada for some godforsaken reason. It was like $71, I think, to ship to Canada. And 15 of them got sent back to us at the border, customs. And that annoyed me. That might have been yours. Seedfan85 says, cool. I'll keep on looking forward to painting Heather then. Are you going to paint like the Heather Swain toy? Do her up. That's nice. I'd like to see some people kind of painting some more stuff. Painting some of these figures, making them better. Was their woke album Black Celebration, EVS? No, it was called Spirit. Black Celebration wasn't woke. It was perfect. It was Black Celebration was like their Pet Sounds. You know, it's a tough album to listen to. It's not like it rocks. Like Music for the Masses, I'll put on in the car. I'll listen to that while I drive, or Violator, or Songs of Faith and Devotion. Those are good albums to listen to, and just they're good driving music. Black Celebration is like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's have a black celebration. Fuck. Yeah, let's have a black celebration. Shit. Like, that's what that is. That's music to listen to alone in your room. You go, what is a black celebration? I don't know if I want to know. Don't lower yourself to see DM, says Forrest Goes Fabio. I've seen them every tour. I go see them every single tour. Let me see. Who's in here right now? Are there people in here that I'm not aware of? Are Shane and Renee in here? Shane, Renee, people are saying. Lol. Anna. What is the you're talking about who's going to be the Yoko Ono. Okay. Yeah, it could be Shane. You never know. Who is the Depeche Mode of CG then? Says Run with Scissors. It's got to be Shane Davis. Shane Davis would be the Depeche Mode of CJ. Pretty sure. All right, I'm almost there. All right, I'm caught up with you guys. Perfect. Thank you so much. Anna soon will be married, and The Wall on borrowed time. Anna soon to be married, and The Wall on borrowed time, says Alec Campbell. Let's pour one out for Anna's beauty. It's just a matter of time. I see Anna like always on the internet too. I'm like, how? I don't. Like, you have what does Peaches do? When you're like, what does Peaches do when you're on the computer all the time? I mean, I know what Andrea does. She chases around the kids, and she cleans and she cooks. You know, I don't think Peaches does that. Steve Gibbon says, you got to go see Depeche. Even the Spirit Tour was really good. I promise you it'll be a good show. I'm going February 8th in the Netherlands. I don't think it's going to be a good show. I don't know. Apple Pit says, Dolly 3 is scary. Have you seen what it can do now? Watching Ethan go through that song that Yoko ruined was a great CG moment. What song did Yoko ruin? Every song she was in, she ruined. All right, ladies and gentlemen, of course, Terror in the Trenches Volume 1, just let's remind you, is closed. Should be closed now. But it isn't quite closed. But it's supposed to be closed at 3 a.m. It'll be closed soon. Back Von Klaus's Terror in the Trenches. Now, we had an incident. Excuse me. We had an incident this past week, which was pretty funny. Here is here's Alan Scott. Now, when I was at DC Comics, this was like right during Hal Jordan Rebirth, I think, Green Lantern Rebirth. I remember them telling me, and I was at the office when this happened. It was weird. This must have happened while they were still in New York. I got to get my timelines right. I remember being in the office. I can tell you which office I was in. And, you know, Dan DiDio was still there holding court. DC Comics had the big building that was across the street from David Letterman's studios, the Ed Sullivan studio where the Beatles played. And you could look out Dan DiDio's like office window. He had the corner office, and you could see like the Ed Sullivan studio right down below him. So, you know, when Paul McCartney played on the roof, for example, like just recently, like, I don't know, 5-10 years ago, whatever it was, theoretically, you know, Dan would just be able to sit there and watch Paul McCartney on his roof. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So I'm there at the office, and they tell me that, I don't know how... they tell me that, like, Alan Scott, Green Lantern, is going to be gay. No. They tell me Green Lantern is going to be gay. By the way, they said going to be gay, which is, again, it just kind of, like, makes me question this idea that, you know, You're born like was Alan Scott always gay? So I go, wait a second, like what do you mean he's going to be gay? Like how? They go, no, it's Alan Scott. Don't worry. They said, don't worry. No, it's Alan Scott. Oh, the original Green Lantern. What? So he's the original Green? No, it's just the Earth 2 version of him. And I remember those two qualifications. The Earth 2, by the way, and this has been replaced with no, he's just bisexual. Well, that's the other thing that's going on now. Like they don't want to fully jump in and just kind of commit right away to any of these characters. Is Robin gay? No, he's bisexual. Oh, okay. Sure, that's a thing. So I said, oh, okay, the Earth 2 Alan Scott is gay. All right, okay, cool. And then over time it eventually became, no, the original one is too. It's kind of like the ultimate version of Iceman. It's weird how they do this. They kind of test the waters a little bit with some alternate version of your character, and then they kind of just go, no, now the real character is too. They did that same thing with Iceman, didn't they? No, it's just Ultimate Iceman. No, of course it's not just Ultimate Iceman. It's got to be the regular Iceman too, like 616. So I remember this happening, and so now Alan Scott is gay, and that is what it is. Marty Nodell's dead now. He can't do anything about it. Like Marty Nodell, if you had told Marty Nodell, the creator of Pillsbury Doughboy, that Alan Scott is gay, he would have been like, "What? Fuck you." He was great, but he's dead, and he can't say nothing about it now, and that's just the way it is. So anyway. Not a big deal. It is, he's always been kind of a character that is sort of on the sidelines. I really liked drawing him in Green Lantern Rebirth because he was sort of like this old patriarch character, and I like that whole archetype in comics. I really liked Max Mercury, when I was working on Flash too, and Impulse, because Max Mercury was kind of like the Obi-Wan Kenobi kind of guy. Old man Obi-Wan Kenobi, I mean, who, is teaching the next generation. Now, it's like, it's a little spooky, but teaching the next generation. Like, I was there, I fought in World War II, I've seen some weird shit, and he has a daughter who has green skin. Her name is Jade, this guy. Max Mercury's job was to sort of teach Impulse to not blow up the world with his super speed. I like that whole thing. So I like Alan Scott, but I don't really think about him very much. Like if I'm going to draw Green Lantern, I'm going to draw Hal or Guy Gardner or John Stewart or lesser, not so much Kyle Rayner. Anyway, this thing happened here where Tim Sheridan, who was a writer that I don't know, you'll have to excuse me. His reputation does not precede him. I do not know Tim Sheridan. But somebody sent me a link of him flipping out in the video. I don't know if the video, he's now blocked me and just about everybody in Comicsgate, which I guess serves his purpose somehow. But he is writing some Alan Scott Green Lantern series, but possibly soon to be mini-series when it gets canceled. And we're like in a desperate spot here. We're in a really desperate spot in the mainstream. It used to be that Comicsgate was mostly ignored. No, at first Comicsgate was overreacted to. I remember like all of these people, really sad, like disappointing kind of thing where somebody, and I imagine it was probably one of the Milkshake girls, started this whole thing like comics, they're for everybody. And they would do this whole thing where everybody had to recite this weird like oath that comic books are for everybody. I could probably find that somewhere. And all of these fucking these drones, they all repeated it. They all retweeted comic books are for everybody. And it was like there were 4 or 5 lines about how comic books are for everybody. But really, what they were saying is they're for everybody except for conservatives. It was a weird gaslighting thing where, they were basically saying that comics are basically for everybody except for those people whose politics have made it so that the heroes that they grew up with would punch them in the face. which is what we heard Andy Corey say a few times. Very disappointing. DC editor Andy Corey. So they have this kind of ironic thing. Comic books are for everybody except for you. Like, there wouldn't be a need to say something like that if they weren't making a point that they're not for you. It's really strange. So we saw a lot of people saying that, and then Comicsgate was kind of in its infancy then. We kind of looked at that and we're like, Jesus Christ, settle down, everyone. You're making bad comics. People are pointing out that you're making bad comics. People are pointing out that you are explicitly hiring people based on their identity. You're hiring, you're looking, you're seeking out people who you would call marginalized. And you're going, we want to hire you, especially you. Well, what if they're not very good? It doesn't matter. We just kind of want to hire people who are marginalized. We have quotas to fill suddenly. We want to be able to tell people that we have as many Black people, as many disabled people, as many gay people, as many trans people. How do you have that many trans people working in comics? And all of them are assholes, every single one of them. How does this happen? Well, you have to deliberately seek these people out, and they're making really bad comics, and they're saying weird shit to the fans on the internet. This was how Comicsgate all kind of came to be. Now, eventually, Comicsgate, because this problem was so explicit, it was so obvious to normal people. Like, normal people who didn't read comics, who were looking in on the comic book industry, couldn't help but notice that things were awry, that things had gotten weird, the comics were bizarre. Every now and then, like, somebody would kind of go, when did comic books, like a normal person, like a writer, would from another industry, would say, when did comics become like politically poisonous? And it was like, oh, thank you for like noticing, because like we live in a perpetual state of like being gaslit that this is normal and that comics, they're for everybody, and all of this insanity. We have to kind of remind ourselves as a community, as a group here, that no, we're all experiencing the same thing, and it's really, really weird, and it's wrong. What's going on is weird, and it's wrong, and it's harmful to comics, and comics just aren't as good as they used to be, and they have been taken over by activists, and all this stuff is real. It's actually happening, and outsiders looking in notice the same thing, which was really reassuring. Because of this phenomenon, Comicsgate grew to be pretty big, right? And the writers and weirdos and mainstream comics who were actively if they weren't the activists, they were protecting these activists. They decided what they'd better do is stop talking about us, because they said, well, we're just giving them attention. They're just here to get attention. No, we're here to get the comic book industry back. We don't want your attention. We just want this to stop, and so the comics are good again. But they were like, they're just looking for attention. So we'll stop mentioning them. Every time we mention them, we're going to use asterisks in the place of vowels so that we're not searchable, and nobody can contest what we're saying. And I gotta admit, in my heart of hearts, as I look back, that suited me just fine, because I'm Comicsgate, and so are my friends, and I don't want these people harassing them all the time while pretending they're the victims of harassment. The reality is, these people, us, we're the indigenous fans of comics. We were here before these creeps. We were buying comics at a time when the comic book industry was incredibly successful. These people have been shooed away, pushed away to the sidelines. They've been insulted. They've been made to feel unwelcome because... amazingly, because of their political preferences, because of the color of their skin, and because they're heterosexual. Weird. We just live in a weird, creepy time right now. So it kind of suited me, though, at the end of the day, to have these people shut the fuck up about Comicsgate, because our aims turned from pointing out what's going on over there all the time. That was mostly what we were doing, was making videos going, what the hell is this? And then it kind of became, no, we're going to try to make our own comic books. and we want kind of a divorce. You know what I mean? Like, let's let them do whatever they're going to do. We really feel like they're in trouble and they're going to kind of crash into a mountain. I'm the kind of guy who goes, look, they're going to hurt themselves. Like, at this point, I don't want to be around when they do. Or if they do, I'll be there on the sidelines to point and laugh. But I mean, when you see like an industry or a company that's clearly just headed, there's a mountain in the way or an iceberg in their path, and they're clearly going to hit the iceberg, and it's because of their own actions. I'm the type of guy who just goes, let me off of this vehicle right here. Right here. I don't want to be here for when the whole thing goes down. So, I'll ignore you. Let me go do my own thing. And let Comicsgaters do their own thing, and we just don't bother each other. Every now and then there'll be something kind of overt that we have to talk about. I mean, we just have to. We have no choice. But for the most part, yeah, it's kind of good to not think about what they're doing so that we can just focus on what we're doing and try to make better indie comics and reach more people with our comics. But then this shit happens right here where it's like, what is this? 2017 again? Is this 2017? Writer Tim Sheridan begs followers to purchase gay Alan Scott the Green Lantern series to own Comicsgate. Okay. This video. Can I watch this video? I might not be able to because I'm blocked. And somebody probably didn't.
Hey, I'm Tim Sheridan, writer of DC's Alan Scott, the Green Lantern, and I just opened up a box of advanced copies of issue.
Why does he look? See, this is the creepy thing about it. It's like he's about to just spit hatred. He's about to just spit hatred. Look how friendly he looks. Look at his eyebrows. They're up here in the sky here. He's like, hi, everyone. I'm an impish little friend of yours. And it's like he belongs on PBS, but he's about to just say the most hateful shit in the world. All right, hold on. Let me do this again. I want to watch this guy.
Hey, I'm Tim Sheridan, writer of DC's Alan Scott, the Green Lantern, and I just opened up a box of advanced copies of issue 1, which look amazing. This is the main cover, which also gets a virgin foil variant, and that's by the great
Virgin foil. Well, that's nice right there. You got to understand, they are watching what we're doing over here. They're very much watching what we're up to. And you see that, like, I'm like, the comics, by the way, the comic that he pulled out of the box that goes, this looks amazing. It doesn't look amazing, Tim. It looks like shit. Basically, it looks pretty plain. There's nothing on that comic book cover that's going to make me buy it. And the quality of the book itself is questionable. I mean, that prices keep going up and up and up. And the quality of the books keep going down, down, down. You pick up one of these books lately, it's like Kleenex. It's not good. This is not good quality stuff. And again, the cover is very just, like, holy shit, generic. All right, so not great, but the idea of making like foil covers, it's clear that they're watching us. This was dead. The idea of making foil covers and chromium and all this stuff, dead. They wouldn't do this. Now they're starting to do it a little bit more.
and powerful David Talaski. There's also 2 other amazing variants, one by John K. Snyder III, and this beautiful portrait by Nick Robles. I am here to ask you a favor.
Oh,
The book comes out next DC
I hope it's not that kind of a favor, Tim.
Tuesday, October 24th, but already the haters and the queerphobe.
By the way, look at this ad over here. This guy is, speaking of like this guy's obsession with Nazis and stuff. Is this like a Nazi uniform? Like very subtle? Look at the hat. That looks like a German helmet. Is that just my imagination or is that like for real? Do you guys see this? Interesting. That's a woman? This is a woman over here? That just seems like it to me. Could be wrong. All right, anyway, I have a favor to ask you.
Are out in force, doing everything they can to see this
Hold on.
out next DC Tuesday, October 24th, but already the haters and the queerphobes are out in force, doing everything they can to see that this book tanks. They use code.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Tim, you know, This is such gaslighting. I'm just gonna let it go. Who
And they
cares?
make it sound like they have legit problems with a book they haven't read yet. But the truth is, they just don't like that there's a queer hero in the upper ranks of the DCU.
You're no queer hero. Hey, listen to this, dude. You released like 8 pages of this book. Nice freeze frame. We read the 8-page preview, Tim. That's all it is.
The only way we can shut these people down is to make this book an undeniable success. The only way.
That's good news. I didn't realize that the only way you could shut down Comicsgate was by making this comic book an undeniable success, because it isn't going to be an undeniable success. None of these books are. It's not even really your fault, like, Tim. Like, you know, an Alan Scott like miniseries, like, nobody wants it. It's not even that he's queer or any of these things. It's just nobody wants this. Like, we couldn't have sold an Alan Scott comic book at the height of Green Lantern Mania. So, you know, I mean, if you're banking on this book being a success in order to sort of thwart Comicsgate, like, that's cool. I'll take your bet.
To prove to all the big publishers that there's a huge market for authentic stories about LGBTQIA.
There isn't. There is not a huge market. There's a tiny market for that. Tiny, minuscule. I mean, there might be a big market for it overall, but then like a big market within comics for queer stories that are rated PG about superheroes from the golden age. Okay, that's a very, very tiny market.
Plus characters, and that these stories are for everyone is to.
For everyone. Except for Comicsgate. They're not for you. These stories are for everyone. They're for everyone. It's like a mantra. But it's always being said by somebody who is trying to exclude, somebody who is preaching hatred. It's for everyone.
Buy the heck out of books like this. This one's only 6 issues, and each one has a few variants. So I'm asking, if you have the means, buy them up. Buy extras to give to people you think really need to read it. Now, you might say this sounds like a great way for Tim Sheridan to make a bundle in royalties. Well, no.
No, because you have to sell 40,000 copies of a comic book before you receive penny one in royalties. The trade paperbacks are another situation. You know, when the trade paperback comes out, you know, I mean, it'll sell a few. You do make some royalties on trade paperbacks, but I got to be honest with you, it isn't very much. It'll be about $1,000 for this, and it's going to be a one-time payment because this is not the kind of thing that people are going to continue to buy over and over again. It might be about $1,000, Tim. You know, I don't think you're going to hit the threshold of royalties at DC. It's sad, man. It would have before, I guess. Like, you know, this book would have failed and still made royalties 20 years ago.
I won't make a penny because every single royalty I receive from these 6 issues will go straight to a charity that's very important to me and that I've supported for a long time, the Elton John AIDS Foundation. Which
Elton John has AIDS? Does Elton John have AIDS? If Elton John has AIDS, can he pay for it himself? Like, the guy's got a lot of money, dude. Let me see. Here's Andy Montemayor says, morning, Ethan. Glad you're up early, late. I just back there in the trenches. John and Klaus closed it out tonight. Cool, man. I really appreciate that. It looks like a good book. It really looks like a really good book. Green Skull says, a comic book that should stay away from my kids. Yeah. How is changing the sexuality of a hero authentic? It isn't. You know, really. It's just that the thing about it is that they wanted to make a character gay at DC. They wanted to kind of experiment early on with the idea of queering superheroes. And so they did so with a hero that nobody cared about, you know. And that was the attitude back then. They thought it was the least risky thing to make Alan Scott gay because, like, nobody cares about Alan Scott, you know. Here's Eric Debunks, who is gay. He says, people coming out as gay after being in the closet is very common. Well, how about the people like who have been in. I guess I mean the guy's got a kid though. The character has a kid. The point is that like the character was never gay. The character has children. He's been in relationships with women. There's really been no evidence that the character was in the closet or gay, except for his uniform, to be honest. I mean, that uniform is yellow, red, purple, and green. And those colors just really don't go together unless they're on a rainbow. Oh, shit. Eric, it was there all along. We just didn't see it. Just didn't recognize it. All right, hold on a second. Let's get back to this guy.
Works to prevent HIV stigma and provide compassionate care for all communities.
That's
I am
nice.
asking you to join the Corps.
Okay, Alan Scott is not in the Corps, and that ring is Hal Jordan's ring. Would it be so hard for you, Tim, fake geek girl, to actually get one of Alan Scott's rings? Because they make them. They make the model of the ring that Alan Scott wears. But that is, Jon Stewart wears that ring, and Hal Jordan wears that ring. Alan Scott has a ring that looks very much like his lantern on his finger. You know, he's not connected to the Green Lantern. He's not Owen. He didn't swear an oath to the Guardians. He didn't do any of that. Like, he's his own superhero, called the Green Lantern, but not really related to. Why wouldn't you just get, like, if I were like the writer of Alan Scott and I were making some like weird video like this, like, all right, I would get Alan Scott's ring and I'd wear it just to show, like, no, I completely know, like, all about Alan Scott. Would you rather be writing Hal Jordan? And you got all the toys. You have Hal Jordan's power battery next to your Alan Scott toys up here. Get Alan Scott's power battery, dude. They're not the same. These aren't the same character. They're completely different. Something happened called the Silver Age. Back around 1959. A better time.
If you care about truth and justice, about shining a light in the darkness, if you think comics are...
If you hate Ethan Van Sciver and all of his friends so much, go and buy my terrible, weird comic book right now. Send a message to them. And this is like precisely what, these same people accuse us of doing. You sell your comic book based on hate. You tell them that, the only reason to buy Cyberfrog is because you hate. No, that's what these guys do. This isn't what I do. I say buy Cyberfrog because it's awesome. And it is. Even my haters have to admit that Cyberfrog is good now. It's very funny, people who don't like Comicsgate, but who did actually read Cyberfrog, I guess like a hate read, have to admit it's good. I mean, it is what it is. I don't have to sell it by going, you know what? You want to send Tim Sheridan a message? You want to send Tim Sheridan over at DC Comics? You want to send DC Comics a message right now that comic books are for everyone? Fuck them! Buy Cyberfrog! I know that's like a caricature of what they think we do here, but I mean, mostly we're just like, what the hell is going on, man? What are you doing over there? I have a very clear and concise message about comics. People like this are fucking them up. I mean, listen, Alan Scott was not gay, but now that he is, he gets to be your hobby horse. He gets to be like your cudgel to beat the shit out of your political enemies. Who said you could do that, asshole? Like, seriously, who said you could do that? I mean, what the fuck? I knew the Nodell family. I knew them. They were personal friends of mine. You are no Marty Nodell. Marty Nodell and his wife used to play with Baby Hunter at conventions. They always sat next to us. They lived in Tampa, Florida. We went to all the same shows. And they were such good people. They were so kind. They died very close to each other. I guess I'm glad about that. Because they were clearly in love. And I don't think they would have done well without each other. It's probably why they went so close together. But they used to play with Hunter. We'd bring a playpen to conventions because Hunter was so little, and she would just pick him up. And Marty would give him little Doughboy toys, Pillsbury Doughboy, which he also created Green Lantern and the Pillsbury Doughboy. And later on, I went on to draw Green Lantern and become the Pillsbury Doughboy. So we have a lot in common. It's unbelievable. All right. So moving on here. Who said you could do this, though? Like, this isn't a character that you created. This isn't a character that you created that you get to beat the shit out of your enemies with. Create your own character. Like, if I want to beat the shit out of my political enemies with Cyberfrog, I can do it if I want to because he's my character. Nobody gets to tell me what to do with him. Create your own thing if this is your attitude.
Are and should continue to be for everyone. Or if you just want to force these Comicsgate trolls back under the bridge they crawled out
You just said comic books should be for everyone.
from, please support our book and send a message that the bullying and the lies and the hate have to stop. Everyone deserves to see themselves in comics.
No, they don't. No, they don't, dude. You should not be in comics. Nobody like you should be in comics. People that are much better than you should be in comics. People should not get to see themselves in comics. That is a feminine attitude that does not belong in masculine fiction. This is what women want. Women want to see themselves. That's why, as I said, the Hallmark Channel is what it is. Twilight is what it is. Even Harry Potter is feminine, even though it's a male character. These are characters that are ciphers that people can project themselves onto so they can imagine the adventure is happening to them. That's not what these characters are. People should see better versions of humanity in comics. They shouldn't see themselves. They should see aspirational qualities within human beings that everyone can relate to. I thought comics were for everyone. Now comics are unique experiences for types of people based on their race, their gender, their identity, their sexual preference. No, this idea that people deserve to see themselves in comics. What the hell is this shit? Who is Superman? And yet everyone loves Superman. Who sees themselves in Superman, you idiot? Who sees themselves in Batman? People don't see themselves in these characters that have lasted 100 years. Nearly 100 years. They see what they would like to be. And it has nothing to do with their sexuality. It has nothing to do with their skin color. And as soon as we let this attitude into comics, they started to shrink and die. This idea of representation, they started to shrink and die. Start telling stories that everyone can relate to. If comics truly are for everyone, stop focusing so intently on tiny little parts of the population and pandering to them specifically based on things they can't control, based on things they don't need to be proud of. It's just part of who they are. Strange attitudes that permeate comics right now. And it comes along with a heaping dollop of hatred, too. Hate this other group. The hypocrisy is pungent. It's unbelievable. Meanwhile, Comicsgate's all about love.
Everyone needs allies. And if you're an ally, now is the time to step up. We outnumber them.
No, you don't. You're like, you don't, dude. You're like 2.5% of the population. You definitely do not outnumber people who aren't like you. You definitely don't. And if you outnumber, if people who hold your political, by the way, if you do outnumber us now in the comic book industry, I wouldn't be surprised. It would explain quite a few things. It might be true. But no, it isn't. You don't outnumber people. Your persuasion, your viewpoint does not outnumber people who disagree with you. And the other thing is, maybe don't make it us versus them when you're working on selling a corporate product like Green Lantern for DC Comics. This is the kind of thing that would ordinarily cost you your job. You shouldn't be allowed to do this. Did DC approve of this? This would have gotten you yelled at not too long ago.
Pool our power, vote with our wallets, and beat these assholes. Add as many of these 4 variant covers for Alan Scott, the Green Lantern, to your pull list today. Pick them up in store next week, Tuesday the 24th. Thank you so much.
What
Hey,
a
I'm
shithead. What a complete and total shithead. Comicsgate lives in this guy's brain. Rent-free. And meanwhile, we're not really even doing anything right now. But here's the situation. We're not doing anything to bother this guy. But here's the situation. Preview of this book came out. And in the preview, this guy has Alan Scott being brought into J. Edgar Hoover's office. Now, there's a historical rumor about J. Edgar Hoover, who was the head of the FBI, a Federal Bureau of Investigation here in the United States. In fact, he founded the FBI, and he ran it for a long time, like I think well into the 70s. When did he die? But he was the head of the FBI. Oh, he was like secretly gay. There are rumors about this. It could be true. It could not be true. But I mean, it's worked its way into pop culture, like so much so now that it might as well be true. And this preview came out where you've got J. Edgar Hoover revealing that he has photographic evidence that Alan Scott is gay. Alan Scott would be closeted here in the 1940s. I've got photographs of you taking selfies. By the way, Tim, people did not do this in the 1940s. This is something that they started to do. They started to do about 15 years ago, taking selfies of yourself in the mirror. Guys didn't hold brownie cameras up to the mirror. That isn't something that would have happened because there was a flash that would go off, and the flash would have obscured this entire image. This isn't Tim. Cameras back then had flashes, and so you couldn't take a picture of yourself in the mirror because it would be obscured by an enormous glare. Nobody did this. This is something that people are able to do now because they have cell phone cameras that you can turn the flash off. Nobody held a camera up to the mirror and took pictures of themselves and did selfies. Have you ever seen that? Is that ever... It's like, I don't know why that bothers me. It just does. It's just like fucking like, I don't know. But anyway, he's got pictures of Alan Scott with his boyfriend, and he says, I told you I get what I want. Oh, also, we're having a little get-together in Forest Hills this weekend. You'll come. Clyde, which is his assistant, J. Edgar Hoover's assistant, Clyde Tolson, supposedly his partner, we'll give you the details on your way out. And Alan, ... bring the combat boots. Okay. This would be called sexual harassment. If this were a woman, if Alan Scott was a woman, this whole thing by a man in power would be sexual harassment. The idea here would be that this is sexual blackmail. J. Edgar Hoover is basically saying, you're coming to my party and you're going to be sexy like this at my party. Bring your boots. Because he's wearing combat boots in the picture, in case you can't tell. Comicsgate, some Comicsgaters saw this preview, reacted to it. Like, this is disgusting. You're basically saying J. Edgar Hoover is sexually blackmailing Alan Scott. I'm sorry, I don't see how it's how that could not be read into this. If it isn't the case, it certainly reads like it's the case. It certainly is, dripping with innuendo, as they say. And we just a ton of gaslighting. Like, that's not what happened. That's not what I was doing here. I can't believe I have to post this. Says Tim Sheridan, who, by the way, this doesn't look like Tim Sheridan. It doesn't look like the same guy that we saw there. Must be an old picture. I can't believe I have to post this, but no, Alan Scott does not have sex with J. Edgar Hoover in our book. Spoiler alert. Hoover blackmails GL into working more closely with the JSA. Yes, Hoover is creepy, but so are the a-holes posting misleading BS to keep you from reading. Not to spoil anything, but to be even clearer, Hoover tries to blackmail GL. Hoover trying to blackmail a prominent figure with compromising intel? Unheard of. Yeah, but he didn't try to fuck any of them. Or did he? Tim, how can you lie like this? When you say Hoover didn't have sex with a Green Lantern, okay, that's your story, though. He certainly is trying to. Spoiler alert, according to you, he doesn't succeed. Well, that's good. But you've got him sexually blackmailing Alan Scott in this story. It's clear as day, dude. Sitting there and saying, people are lying a-holes. They're saying that you're writing the story. This is your story. You wrote this. And it's fairly clear what you're trying to say. It's fairly clear what the innuendo is here. It's fairly clear that J. Edgar Hoover is inviting him to a party, and saying, bring your boots. His boyfriend is going to be running it, his supposed boyfriend. Why are you backpedaling from this now, Tim? And then after you have to did you get lectured? Did you get a talking to about this? Is anybody paying attention to the books? And now you got to pretend that's not what you're saying here? It is what you're saying. While it's unclear at this point if the book will leave open the question on whether or not Hoover was blackmailing Scott into sexual relations, he was. It doesn't mean he got away with it. I would hope that Alan Scott would be heroic enough to not bend over for J. Edgar Hoover or whatever. I don't know. This is Tim's story. These characters exist in a whole different way in Tim's head than they do have ever existed, either in reality or fiction. Preview pages obtained by Bleeding Cool do show Scott engaging in sodomy with another man in the army. Yes, and now we've got this that goes on for quite a few pages here. This is Green Lantern, everyone. Green Lantern. Oh, my God. I like how Bounding into Comics is now just here's the Christian point of view about sodomy. That's great. Bounding into Comics rules. I don't know what to say, guys. This guy is look, Tim, you did what you did. You basically have a scene where Alan Scott is being bullied by J. Edgar Hoover into gay sex. It is repulsive to people, to most people. When you say we outnumber them, I promise you don't. Most people will be unnerved by that. It's a weird, creepy kind of I don't know what goes on in this head of yours, Tim. But in any case, it was interesting because he brought Comicsgate right into it, which is fantastic for us. I got to say, I kind of punched the air when this happened because I was just like, holy shit, things must be really, really bad if they're bringing us up again. We've kind of lived at peace and not really paid too much attention to each other. But here we are. We have a guy from DC Comics, a guy who's writing a current DC Comics book, who's making everything all about us. It's fucking awesome. Either way, we win. If the book does well because people want to own Comicsgate, it means everybody's aware of Comicsgate and they're very angry with us. That's a win. And if it doesn't, it's a win. Either way, I can't believe how great it is. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's okay, Tim. You can do this stuff. You don't have to worry about us. If we are going to complain about it. If you do something weird like this, we're going to talk about it because we have YouTube channels And we want people to know, like, people should know that this is what, DC Comics publishes now. And if they like that, good. Go enjoy. If they don't like it, they should know about it. That's all it is. All right, let me see here. Let me take a look at what you guys are saying about this. I'm sure you're very concerned. I know I'm late to the game on this situation, but haven't been doing too much streaming lately, as you know. Let me see. Crying Freeman, Peep the Mark Dacascos film. I will look into that. Let me see what else here. Why do these dweebs even want to be in comics, says Apple Pits? I mean, comics are like pretty entry level. Like, it's, why do people want to be in comics? Everybody thinks they can make comics. I really think that's a thing. Everybody thinks it's just something that you can just do. It takes a lot of work to learn how to do comics. So if you have the attitude that pretty much anybody can do them, and you have a political axe to grind, you can just get in there and use comics as a way to grind it. How is changing the sexuality of a hero authentic? It isn't. Diego, thanks for a £3 super sticker. The charity fights the stigma of HIV, but not HIV. Yurash Mataru, that's hilarious. Yeah. Why not just fight HIV instead? Why not just be like, you know what? Our charity money is going to go towards the scientific research for curing HIV. No. We want to cure people's attitudes about HIV. We want to make it so having HIV, sure, could possibly be a death sentence. But why be so hard on HIV? Why why attack HIV? I don't know. It just seems like, it does seem like putting a traffic cone. I saw this commercial one time right in front of these PBS American documentaries that come out. What are they called? American History or something like that. I can't remember what it is. The American Experience. I watched those. And there's there are a bunch of ads for people sponsors who helped make the documentary. And one of them is for like an insurance company, I think. And they go, like something insurance. They're where you need us. And what it is there's a banana peel on the ground and it focuses on the banana peel, right? And then you see somebody walk by and put a traffic cone next to the banana peel and then walk away. And that's what the insurance company is trying to say that they do. And that drives me insane. I mean, you could just pick up the banana peel and throw it away. No, we're just going to put a traffic cone there to let you know, be careful. Now we got two things on the sidewalk that don't belong there. You could just pick the banana peel up and throw it away. But instead, this commercial was suggesting we just put a traffic cone next to the banana peel. Now we're helping people. It's a little bit like this, I think. Desperate to turn the JSA into the Watchmen's Minutemen. Thank you, Peppermint Oil Capsule. Travis Parrick says, not boy, but dough man. Paul Taylor, thanks for $10 Canadian. So how did Alan Scott have two kids? They were in Infinity Inc. Oh, he was closeted. Clearly a closeted homosexual that was able to, on several occasions, achieve an erection, have sex with a woman, be in a relationship with at least one woman, and orgasm and impregnate them. In the 1980s, Obsidian and Jade, right. This making characters gay thing has to stop. Make new characters gay that we can ignore instead. That's exactly right. Yeah, we want to ignore the new gay characters. Well, they don't want that. That's not the point. The point is we need a shortcut. These are people who cannot create things that are new and popular. So what they do is they take things that are already existing and already popular and make them and change them so that they can be their harbingers. Travis Parrick says, does Jim Lee take any responsibility for this garbage? He probably does, like this. That's probably Jim Lee taking responsibility for this garbage. George Bonney, thanks for $5. Appreciate you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they care anymore. Madness and Vector says, I miss Vita now that we have Mags 2.0. No, Mags is still, we got a Mags story too, unfortunately. You know. Is Shane Davis the Depeche Mode of CG because we just can't get enough, says Runs with Scissors. No, it's because he's depressing. Shane is very depressing. All right, let me see what you guys are saying here real quick, and then we'll kind of move on. Yeah, they work for the big traffic cone. Oh, this is interesting. HIV just doing its thing, and your white blood cells come along and try to stop it. White blood cells, guys. Thank you, Bar Stewart. That is correct. Creepy. How weird is that? It's true. I want to remind you guys, go over to my eBay store. We'll be shipping eBay stuff out today. You can go to Cyberfrog9. The link is in the description below. We have incredible beanies and baseball caps. By the way, this is like the top selling baseball cap right here. This is amazing. This is amazing. We've got the Comicsgate baseball cap D. This was the most popular one because I just think it's cool. It's really beautiful. All of them are really great quality, as you know. We have limited quantities of all of these. So don't wait too long. Shop for a new Comicsgate or all caps comics baseball cap. We have several different designs and beanies for the winter time. Also, the Cyberfrog sweatshirt, not the Cyberfrog, I'm sorry, the Comicsgate sweatshirt is available now for channel members. So if you are a channel member, you will see in the community tab. Let me see what happens here if I look at the community tab. I'll show you guys. You're not going to believe this. You're going to be like, what the hell? I've been left out all this time. Yeah, I know. There's all kinds of secret stuff going on behind your backs that you don't know about. But it is true. Let me see here. All right, like this, and then like this, and then like this right here. If you join the channel, you're going to see members only things like this. This is the camo and orange, bright orange. It looks like you wear this hunting. Like Billy Tucci would wear this bow hunting. You've got a really nice hoodie, Comicsgate hoodie, with a snake on the back. Comicsgate, bite back. Comic pros hate you. How can you deny that after this? You're just sitting here doing nothing, and then you've got the fucking writer of Alan Scott Green Lantern calling you an asshole. It really is something else. So this is well timed. These people do hate you. I want you to understand that. It's disappointing. You can get a nice hoodie here. These are only available because this was like a secret product. You had to actually be a channel member in order to get one. We ordered a few more than what channel members purchased. We did great. These sold really, really well because you guys are just the best people in the world. But we've got a few more, and they're still being held only for channel members. So if you want to get one, again, we have limited quantities of size. So make sure that you go over and get one soon. Join the channel, then go to the community tab, and you'll find the link. The link is hidden under here. It says read more. Just click the read more. You'll get the link. And you can go over and get one of these hoodies. I think they're on the Dark Harvest. They're like hidden on the Dark Harvest campaign. So you can get it there. Yeah. And we'll put the t-shirts up today, guys. We have to just count and see how many t-shirts we have of everything. Everybody has haters, even Elvis. Fact, Billy Tucci is better than Director X, says Madness and Victory. Paul Taylor says, already got mine. Did they come in an EVS large? Yeah, I have one. I pulled a 3XL out of there. Andrew's like, you're getting a 3XL? Yeah, I think we're at that point, babe. So I put on a nice 3XL. Fits great. It's really nice. Paul Taylor says he got his hat. We shipped out all of the hats, all of the shirts. Everybody should have them. Today, I'm expecting the mail-in cut to come in today. It's already done. We got a nice message from the printer saying, be ready. There's going to be somebody's going to call you to arrange delivery. And that was on Thursday that I got that message. So I think today, Monday, I think they're going to be here. I can't wait. I'm very excited about the mail-in cut. Also, Cyberfrog Blood Honey Chromium and the Trump mugshot cover should be here this week. So it should be good. Yeah, if it's a little tight with a 3XL, says Lazar. Get the 5X. No, we did get a 4XL. There is a 4XL, size 4XL of that sweatshirt. So there's room to grow. Steve Giblin says, I just opened my blue and black Comicsgate hat. Right now, it's awesome. Yeah, it's the best quality. It really is worth it. Prices are not too high either. I'm keeping the prices kind of down. JP Third just joined the channel. Good. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let me see. True, just like anything related to children, that should be a non-issue because it shouldn't be talked about at all. Here we go. Astros fight, says Mortimer Grimm. We'll find out today, right? We're going to find out if the Astros take it and hopefully play my Phillies. Today we'll find out. The Phillies game's at 5 p.m. I can't wait for it. I'm so excited. I hope they clinch it today. I hope they're going to the World Series. But you never know. You can't take anything for granted. And the Astros are the same way. They're up 3-2, I think, in the series. But Texas could come back. It's just that Houston's a unique team. That Altuve, he's something else. He's like one of the top home run hitters postseason. I think he's like the number 2 biggest home run hitter postseason. Is that right? So we'll see. A matchup with him against Harper. Harper's way down the list. Schwarber, these Phillies. We got some good hitters when they're actually hitting. Henry Bemis says Diamondbacks could come back. Yeah, they could. You can't take anything for granted. Like it's crazy right now. Baseball is so entertaining. I'm really like, I want them to clinch it tonight because I'm not sure. And if the Diamondbacks win tonight and it's tied up 3-3, it comes down to that last game. Pretty excited. Ethan, did you get blocked on Twitter by Tim Sheridan like the rest of us did? Yeah, I did. I was surprised that I wasn't blocked already. How are you like an anti-Comicsgate activist and you don't have me blocked? Or if you're an anti-Comicsgate activist, by the way, if you were a smart anti-Comicsgate activist, you wouldn't have me blocked. You'd be watching me very closely, waiting for me to say the N-word. Say the N-word. One of my favorite expressions now is the phrase the N-word. I love that. It's so funny. And I would never say it. I would never say the N-word. It's just not something that I would do. Not my whole life. Baseball is so entertaining. EBS has never lied so much in his life. Glitch, what are you talking about? How do you not love baseball? Even Andrea is into it. We talk about baseball all day now. Nothing better than playoff baseball, says Ryan Blue Thunder. It's very exciting. Does Mark Brooks have me blocked? I don't think so. And he's in here. And Mark Brooks has become more and more acidic and poisonous. He used to just come in here and be like, hey, well, I disagree. Now Mark has become really mean. Like he's always sitting there trying to hurt my feelings. I don't know why he's trying to hurt my feelings. I love Mark Brooks. Mark Brooks was always very nice to me. He had me come out to his Texas conventions, which I don't think he owns anymore. I think Wizard World bought his. Mark, did Wizard World buy your show? Who bought your show? Ambusher says these people, and by these people he means Eric the Bunks. These people think gay, black, and autistic are personality traits, and they use them as stand-ins for personality. They think that because they're hollow people devoid of meaning. Eric, what do you think of that? How do you feel about that accusation? Personally, I have no opinion. Mark Brooks used to fly me out to. Not Mark Brooks. What am I talking about? Mark, what's his name? Shit. Memory is failing me all the time. Not Mark Brooks. The other one. Debunk that. No, Mark Brooks was actually nice to me too. Mark Walters. Thank you. Mark Walters. Shit. They're all Marks. Mark Brooks, Mark Wade. Mark Walters. Yeah. A lot of Marks. Are there any nice Marks? Do we have any marks here that are like good people? Yeah. Jesus Christ, says my beautiful dark twisted fago tree. I know, it's like that, dude. Imagine, yeah, seriously, imagine being married to me. It's like I forget things all the time. Are there any nice marks? Do we have any? Oh, Mark Miller. Yeah, Mark Miller is good. That's a good mark. Karl Marx. No. That's and you spelled it wrong. Like it would be Marx with an X at the and he wasn't nice. And you spelled Carl wrong. Mark Wahlberg is nice. That is true. Oh, Mark Trafford's here. He says, no, I'm your worst enemy. So we got another nice mark. All right, just making sure, you know. Mark Bolton. Yes, Mark Bolton, of course. Another good guy. Mark S. Anything about Mike makes me laugh. EVS help. I'm obsessed with Mark Walters, says Jamie Max. Where is Mark Walters? Is he still here? Did he leave? I would love to get him on the show and talk to him. So funny, dude. Mark Silvestri is good too, but it's Mark with a C. I guess that doesn't matter. It's still a Mark. Mark S. Miller is Mike's good twin. I like the way that they would have the same, like, they'd have an S middle name so that they could be a S Miller too, a Smiller. That's great. Hey, good news. Oh, wait, before we do that, before we get into the next story, Terror in the Trenches, Volume 1. Let me refresh it and see if it's still going. And did we make any more money on it? It is still going, and no, we did not make any more money on it. Back Terror in the Trenches today. Support Terror in the Trenches. Cyberfrog Dark Harvest is a campaign that you should definitely support right now. Right here, for this reason. The Cyberfrog Blood Honey, people are like, where do I start with this? So, we got all the death stings here. By the way, I just opened the crates of the Roquefort and the Kelsey variant. I hadn't had a reason to open them before. They were in the warehouse. But I just hadn't had a reason to open the Death Sting glow-in-the-dark Kelsey Shannon variant or the Kenneth Roquefort variant. They're opened up because we shipped them out for the people who backed 4 books in a folder on this on the Second Chance campaign. They're so beautiful. They really are nice. So people are going to be receiving those probably this week. You can still order a copy here. But what you should do is get Wreck Planet, and then also, where's the other thing you should get? Blood Honey. Right here, Blood Honey Chrome. You should get the Blood Honey Chrome book. It's been revised. There are a couple of spelling errors in there, a couple of typos that somebody caught. We fixed those and also did a couple of rewrites to improve it for clarity's sake here and there. I think this is like the last rewrite. Here's the thing. When you're going back to print on one of these books, you know, and basically everything's a digital file. You can make little changes here and there as many times as you want. You know, I'm gonna be like George Lucas, like fiddling with my own movies forever, fiddling with my own comic. But Cyberfrog Blood Honey Chrome is good, and one of the reasons why it's good is because this cover is my favorite cover. I think it is my favorite cover out of all the Cyberfrog covers I've ever done, and it's never been given a chromium treatment before. The other thing is it's got number 1 on it. And so this is the one that I'm going to kind of keep in print if I can, like this version of it. Even though I think we're printing 3,000 chromiums. We've already sold 1,500 of them. So we've still got 1,500 that are available in stock for people who say, how do I jump on board? This is it. This is the reason. But it's got the number 1 on it, first issue. And I think it's important because people are making a good point about manga in the sense that it's very easy to follow. It's numerical. So I need to put these in order. Cyberfrog Blood Honey has a 1 on it. Cyberfrog 1998, The Diary of Heather Swain is going to have a 1.5 on it because it comes in between Cyberfrog 1 and Cyberfrog 2. So I've already decoed up that cover, ready to go. I'm going to print it full size so it stands right next to your Cyberfrog Blood Honey. Before it was, you know, small size. So There you go. Yeah, back the Dark Harvest campaign and back Cyberfrog 3 Red Extermination, which I don't have pulled up right now because I wiped out my entire all my tabs here. Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon. Oh, why? Zack Snyder, you know, you don't want him to be like that, but it turns out that he do be like that. He do be that way. That's a whole lot of like thought that like Zack Snyder was kind of one of us. Left Nut says, I have Cyberfrog number 0. Oh. Yeah, it's Cyberfrog chapter 1. Heather prequel number? It'll just be called Heather Swain, I think. Heather Swain, Earth is for Everyone. It's going to be good. Yeah. Ethan is right. All Marks suck, says Henry Bemis. I mean, not all of them. Like, oh, there's Mark Hamill. You know what? It's becoming more and more clear that, yeah, there's some about Marks. My cousin Mark can bench you for rep, CBS, says R. Bruggeman. You're kidding me, really? Me? I don't know if he can or not. I weigh a few pounds. So I'm not sure. Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon. By the way, yeah, you're right about this. Like, look at this headline, dude. Hey, John F. Trent, can you, like, sum up a little bit? Like, basically, I read this headline and I have all the information that I need. I don't even need to read the article. I'm just like, what does this headline say? Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon Netflix film series to get prequel comics from ultra woke and pro-transgender creator who threatened to beat people with a bat. Now, the only question is who? Ultra woke and pro-transgender creator who threatened to beat people with a bat. That could be anyone. It could be anyone in the mainstream. Who could this be referring to? Bull Rush says, is Salamandroid Death Sting still available? Yes, it is, and it's on the Dark Harvest campaign, and the link is below in the description of this very video. Pop open the description. You'll see all of the links to everything. Go to my eBay store, go to the Dark Harvest, go to Cyberfrog 3, go to Rainbow the Brute, which I'm going to start promoting again very soon. So I get enough pages together, colored and lettered. We're going to hit you guys like a fucking bomb with Rainbow the Brute. You're going to love it. But Death Sting is on the Dark Harvest campaign. Must be Brian Mags Visaggio, says Jiminy Cricket. It could be. I believe that individual did threaten to beat people with a baseball bat in the teeth. But you know what? Those were heady times. You know, you kind of get excited. When you get excited about stuff, you might threaten to beat people to death with a baseball bat. You don't mean it. I don't think Mags ever meant it. Zack Snyder announced that his upcoming Rebel Moon Netflix film series will receive a prequel comic series to be, holy shit, to be published by Titan Comics and written by Brian Visaggio, who claims to be a woman and uses the name Mags. Just fucking leaning right into it. Oh my God, John Based. You got to be kidding me, dude. Listen, we're not playing that game anymore. Like, we're taking it right to him. Oh my God, dude. Oh. Oh no. Is this transphobia? I'm not sure. But that is fucking woo. Wow, man. Yeah. That's like taking a fucking moped 80 miles an hour, like, you know, off a ramp. There's just a moment of airless, like weightlessness where you're in midair. And it's the same situation when you read written by Brian Visaggio, who claims to be a woman and uses the name Mags Visaggio. It's that same sensation of like weightlessness, like, whoa! Can't believe it. We're not tied to the ground anymore, brothers and sisters. We say whatever the fuck we want. It's incredible. God, we live in a weird time. All right. Snyder made the announcement on X where he wrote, excited to announce that the Rebel Moon universe is expanding beyond with a prequel comic series. Oh, Beyond the Screen. All right. He added, issue 1 of Rebel Moon House of the Blood Axe will be published by Titan Comics on January 10th, 2024, and available wherever comics are sold. That's if they order it, if they pre-order it, Zach, to be fair. I really can't imagine. Do you think this is going to do well? Zack Snyder has like a cult following. Like he really does have a big following. Would that extend to like a comic book? Not an adaptation, like a continuation of his Netflix movie. Zack Snyder, mostly, of course, known for the Justice League, the DCEU, and the Snyderverse, as it were, which led, I think, to the Rippaverse. Did the name Rippaverse come from Snyderverse? Everything's like verse now. And then you've got like that dude who's making the Epic Verse, which is like a bunch of movies. I don't know, short films. Verse. Everything is verse. Everything is verse and everything is gate. So it's not like I can talk. It's not like I'm so much better because, like, Comicsgate. I go along with that. Comics verse. In a press release, Titan Comics revealed that the prequel series will be a 4-part comic series written by Eisner-nominated Mags Visaggio with art by Clark Bent and colors from Francesco Segala. First issue is expected to feature a number of variant covers from Stanley Artgerm. Wow, that's a big deal. Raphael Albuquerque, good. Baltimore Rivas, I don't know. I don't know these people. But Artgerm is good. As for the story, the official description states, set 5 years before the events depicted in Rebel Moon Part 1. I don't care. I fucking couldn't care less. Let me look at the art. Ooh. Looking at a little Mobius style here. Mobius style artwork. Ugh. Ugh. All right, looks good. Interestingly, press release also declares this 4-issue prequel series as essential reading for anyone who wants to know more about the rich and expansive lore of the Rebel Moon universe. It does note that while Visaggio was writing this comic, the story comes from Snyder. Well, that's good. With an original story from Zack Snyder himself, the comic carries the same levels of drama, action, and high emotional stakes that the director is known for. I wonder how that'll work. Like, if you give Mags Visaggio an actual plot and you say you just write from this plot, will it be good? It should be better, right? I mean, Snyder stated, I'm excited to collaborate with Mags to explore the rich and complex backstory of the Blood Axe siblings. In Rebel Moon, House of the Blood Axe fans will get to discover their motivation as well as the genesis of the rebellion. Here's Visaggio. It's all extremely personal. A family conflict with its patriarch who is in conflict with himself at a moment where they need to be united. It's a story about failure and the consequences of failure. Sounds like it's going to be something you can relate to, Mags. The art is not good. Hold on a second. I mean, it's like some of it's good. Like, this is good. This is not good. This looks like a child drew it. But, like, this is good. I mean, I'm really confused. Visaggio previously threatened to beat people not exhibiting disordered sexual behavior with a... This is like, I mean, honestly, here's the thing. The art is fine, says Guy from Red Bank. Okay, it is fine. I won't be critical of it. Oh my God. It's the Gamer Comicsgate verse. Yeah. You should start up VerseGate. That would be rad, says Apple Pits. That sounds like good. Here's Eric who says, I mean, Rebel Moon was a failed Star Wars story that he changed into a 2-part thing for Netflix. Could be good though. I mean, I don't know. I'm not crazy about Zack Snyder on a personal level. I think he's kind of a coward. But And also, he is a coward and a cult leader. No, I don't like. Fuck it. I forgot. Hold on. See, this is the whole thing about me. I forgive people way too soon. Like, I'm like, I don't know why I don't like Zack Snyder. I guess he's all right. No, I don't like him. I don't like Zack Snyder. I don't like him because he's got a problem with my friend Jeff Johns. And rather than just come out and say so himself, he went to, what's her name? That blonde girl who's got the fucking, what's her name? Who's got the nice YouTube show where she talks about movies, Disney movies and shit. She's got a haunting expression. Very pale. She applies too much eye makeup. He went to her and he downloaded all of his complaints, all of his gossip about Jeff Johns into her. And she went ahead and she spread all that shit all over the internet, calling Jeff a racist on behalf of, calling Jeff a racist? Grace Randolph. Yeah, thank you. No, I don't like Zack Snyder. I forgot all about that. I was like, why? There's something in me that says you don't like Zack Snyder. And I don't know why, because I'm a really forgiving person. Like, I'm quick to just forgive personal slights and all these things and just forget about them. Some people I make a mental note. You're going to forget why you hate this person, but you do, and you need to keep hating them because they're dangerous. Zack Snyder, I just forgot, but now I remember. This guy, he went out of his way to target and slime Jeff Johns. Here's the thing. Jeff's whole thing was, I don't like your movies. They're really dark and depressing. We got to get you out of here. You cannot be the guy who does the DCEU because, your movies are terrible. They're bad, and I think they're doing harm to our brand. Got to get rid of you. So he brought in Joss Whedon to Frankenstein up, he fucking ruined the Justice League movie, which was terrible anyway. Oh, God, that was a catastrophe. When I think about just all of the people, there were no winners. Joss Whedon's entire career was destroyed over Justice League. He just doesn't exist as a person anymore. Those were all personal grudges that were brought forth because of bad feelings about Justice League. You better believe it. Jeff Johns lost his job. So did Diane Nelson. So did John Berg. And so did Zack Snyder. Just everybody fucking, it was like a cluster bomb. Killed everybody. Swine Dog says, saw Geek Getaway interview you. That guy annoyed the hell out of me. These goofballs are so comfortable telling you and Ripa how to run your business. Did he tell me how to run my business? I don't know. That guy's okay. It doesn't bother me. Listen, when it comes to those haters, I just want to talk to them. I think it's fun. It's all good. Yeah, so basically, I don't like Zack Snyder, and it doesn't surprise me. And by the way, it seemed like he would be the type of guy who would be appreciative of Jeremy Griggs and Geeks and Gamers, but it turns out no. He was not willing to say thank you to Ryan Cannell, and he should have been, because Ryan Cannell went out of his way to promote the stupid Justice League movie on HBO. Do everything he could to promote it because creators, the fans demand. The fans win. Creators should be allowed to create, and the fans should get what they want. And instead, no, he shit all over them. People go, why don't you, what happened with you and Geeks and Gamers? And Friday Night Tights in general? This was it. This whole thing with Zack Snyder just exploded everywhere. And there are fragments of this that just destroyed a lot of shit. But my whole thing was, Zack Snyder shows up and should really just be telling fans thank you, but he's no different than Tim Sheridan. It's there are certain fan groups who are opposed to, leftism and social justice being so pervasive in media. And those people, you can do and say whatever you want to them. You want to say, you want to call the Fandom Menace a hate group, you can. Comicsgate a hate group, you can. Nobody says anything like this. That's just, you're allowed to do that. There are certain groups of people who you're allowed to bully. And we're kind of one of them. But these guys went out of their way. Geeks and Gamers went out of their way to sort of, be a part of this charity. It's like a suicide prevention charity that Zack Snyder was promoting. Why? I don't know. I watch too many Geeks and Gamers videos, and you know, I gotta say, it doesn't make me too comfortable in my skin. Makes me want to Minecraft myself. But no, they're promoting this anti-suicide charity on behalf of Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder basically shows up and tells them all to go fuck themselves. And Geeks and Gamers just sat there and kind of took it. Like these guys were just told to stand down and not stand up for themselves in front of Zack Snyder, calling all of the fans like bigots. And I mean, it was just such a bad moment. It pissed me off, and I was highly critical of it. So you got to stand up for your fans, dude. I mean, like, our whole thing is standing up for the fans, right? Our whole thing is about, like, you know, fan appreciation and all this stuff. That's your message. And then once one of these Hollywood creeps, who, by the way, is on the outs with Hollywood anyway, comes into your space and calls you all names, like, you just stand there and take it. I couldn't fucking take it. It's infuriating. Stop trying to win these people over. You cannot win these people over. You understand, Zack Snyder was never one of you guys. He's hiring Mags Visaggio to write his gay comic book. He was never one of you guys. And just because, like, it appeared that, like, you know, you had an opportunity to help him and the fans and all this stuff, it doesn't matter. Part of me thinks that, like, a lot of these groups just want to be a part of this. They want to be a part of Hollywood. They want in. You know, they don't want to make anything different. They just want to be accepted by the powers that be. Which drives me nuts, because this is like a fucking mask off moment here where you go, well, okay, so we had Zack Snyder on our show to sit there and kiss his ass and tell him how great he is and then give money to his charity and all this stuff. Hundreds of thousands of dollars come from our group to his charity, and he spits in our faces because of it. And I don't know, we just stand there and take it. I guess so. I guess that's what we do. Ultimately, when it all comes down to it, when it's on the line, that's why. Just a reminder, why does Ethan have problems? That's why. You know what I would have done? I would have been like, you know what, sir? You know, go fuck yourself. Your career is over in Hollywood. You ruined the DCEU, and you still have a small pocket of fans here who are loyal. You basically hypnotized them. They think that you're the be-all, end-all. And all of these people showed up here to pay tribute to you and make sure that your vision came true. And this is how you respond to them. You know what? Rather than sit there and tell us that, like, you make your movies about heroes to basically oppose people like these fans, I'll take a thank you. I think they'll take a thank you very much. I appreciate it instead. Go fuck yourself. Sit there and, like, you're going to go work for Netflix now. You should be able to relate to us. Even still, man, even still part of the machine. How disappointing. And now here you are, like, you know, still part. Now you're like wanting to be part of the machine. You're sitting there working with Netflix. And you're hiring people like Mags Visaggio to work with you, the dregs of the comic book industry, the absolute dregs of the comic book industry, and the forces. God damn, dude. Basically the end result of the forces that got you kicked out of Warner Brothers anyway. That's just unreal. Strange bedfellows. Just say what you do. Just say what you want to say. Say what you mean. Just be yourself. Be true to yourself. And let the chips fall where they may. That's what I do. All right, here we go. Here's Mags Visaggio. Oh, god damn. So we lick our wounds. Ew. Max actually posted, so we lick our wounds. And I think, like, there's a way to look at that. Like, there are two different ways to look at that, obviously. Ugh. Absolutely disgusting. We lick our wounds, and then we spike our bats, and we rise, and we fight the fuck back. We will fight back. Trans women started Stonewall. We know how to throw bricks, and we are done being victims. If the only fucking response to the torrents of abuse we get is to raise our fists to our chins and throw the first punch, by God, we will. I am done with this. So fuck you. Fucking cis assholes. Fuck your bullshit. Get ready for a baseball bat to the teeth. Brian Visaggio threatens to beat individuals with a bat on X. This was July 27, 2017. Is Mags okay? This was something else. Get ready for a baseball bat to the teeth. And that is indeed what Mags tends to write about. Your boy Zack kind of did a whole analysis where most of what Mags writes about, like Mags's comics, involve like people bashing other people in the head with like, blunt objects. Kim versus Kim, they had like bass guitars that they'd sit there and smack people, like crush people's skulls with. A lot of like head wounds. And it's like a recurring theme. A lot of people getting like beaten in the head with things. So it's like a subconscious fantasy. All right, let me check in on you guys here. Anyway, there's a comic book that I'm sure you'll be purchasing. It's Mags Visaggio's Zack Snyder collaboration. It should be good. Get ready for a baseball bat to the teeth. Ryan Toes, I've just given him erectile dysfunction. You're welcome, my friend. Let me see. Also, they wanted to, as they said, protect the brand. Bad decision to take those insults to protect the brand. Says, we're talking about Geeks and Gamers there. Matthew White says, yeah, the old High Council days were fun, but EVS was right to call him out. He definitely sticks to his principles. That's why we love EVS. Yeah, that was it for me. Like I just said, I don't think these guys are real. I hate to say it. Like they can do what they want and make their videos and stuff, but they don't seem real. Here's Dark Shadow Logan's. Remember, it's a little bad on what happened there. Jeremy took the blame, and it was how was it handled? What was handled? You don't handle things after they've already happened. What exactly was handled? He took the blame. It's silly. What broke things up was you that night taking edibles and calling everybody zeros. Yeah, they are zeros. That was an extension of that. Just like, he handled it. What was handled? Did he call Zack Snyder? Did he bring him back to the show? And did he tell him out on behalf of his fans? Did he tell him off? No. Nothing was handled. It was there was a moment. Moments come and go. You have to be great in that moment. You can't just be great. You can't just say, be great, everyone. You have to, the moment comes. And in that moment, you make a choice. Cowardice or greatness. What are you going to do? What are you going to choose? And then the moment's over. And from there on out, it's just cope. It's just coping and seething. If you fail in that moment, it's scary because like you hope that you'll recognize that moment and you hope you'll know to like stand by your principles and your values and do what's right. But not everybody does, and then we just spend the next 3 years.
You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. The truth is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard. Coping and seething.
I am coping and seething all the time. I agree. Constantly. I'm in a nonstop state of coping. Dumbledore says, do women actually like men who look like that? I think it's disgustingly ugly. Dumbledore. I don't know. That meme is just supposed to be the ideal specimen of manhood that men should aspire to be. I think that's what that is. It makes me laugh every time. Kalia says, cope harder. Jiminy Cricket says, kind of gay. Yeah, kind of, But then again, if that's you, dude, if I look like that, I'd be in my underpants all the time. Right now, I'd be in my underpants. If I look like that guy looked, I'd be in my underpants. I'd be here like just kind of underpanted and saying, give you a little something to look at, a little something. EBS trying to give his elderly watchers a heart attack. Oh, I'm sorry you scared Jody. Was that too loud? I should give you a warning. It's about to get noisy in a second. Ambusher says, in your underpants, coping and seething. Yeah, I don't think I'd be coping or seething if I look like that. I think I'd be pretty happy. And by the way, that's something to think about. If I'd be pretty happy if I look like that, why don't I work harder at trying to look like that? I ask myself this question. I could make an effort, I could make an effort to be a little bit more like that guy, but I don't. And that's my failing. All right, so we got some crummy stories. I'm sorry about both of these stories. Mags Visaggio writing Rebel Moon. Tim Sheridan, I know everybody made videos about it. Everybody talked about it. It was really something else. I want to thank him for it because I did get a really good... I just laugh at this stuff now. I think in 2017 and 2018, it just presented like an existential threat to me. I've seen all this stuff going on. I'm like, they're really going in on my belief system here. Like my peers are really converging to sort of establish that Republicans and conservatives and people who kind of disagree with what they're doing to any extent, or people who might eventually come to disagree with what they're doing, are enemy number one and need to be purged. And that's terrible because I can't lose my job. I got to keep my job here. I need to keep my job. I got a kid. But it just became inevitable. And for a while, things like that were terrifying. I'd see them saying things like that. I'm like, my God, they're going to fucking destroy everything. They're going to ruin this business. I'm not going to be able to work here. I need to work here. I'm not going to be able to. All because Trump was elected. Everything was fine and good while Obama was president. They were not worried about any of this shit. But as soon as Trump was elected, we're talking about masks slipping. Society, one half of society's mask completely slipped. And they said, no, surprise, we've been authoritarians all along. We're going to call you fascists while we behave like fascists. And we're done playing around. We're done pretending to be Americans. We're done pretending that democracy is anything that we aspire to. We're done with that now. Now we're going to persecute. Now we're going to destroy. It was incredible. We're still experiencing that. That is what the state of the world right now. It's really weird. Idea for a new book called The Wokels. It's about a trans couple series starring Mags and Mark Brooks as your crappy next door neighbors. Says Apple Pits. As my next door neighbors? I don't think either of them can afford my neighborhood. Not to humble brag. That's not actually humble bragging. That's just bragging. Mark might. Mark's I drive a Porsche. I wonder what if Mark makes money. Does Mark make any? He probably does, or his original art. I'll bet Mark makes a good $500,000 a year. Driving a Porsche. I got to buy Andrea a car. We continue talking about buying Andrea a car. I put it in her mind. It was a psyop that she wants a Corvette. And I told you guys this. I said, I'm going to buy Andrea a Corvette if this next campaign is successful. You guys are like, oh, great. Andrea should have a Corvette. For the longest time, she was like, I don't even want a Corvette. Why are we talking about Corvettes? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I just thought maybe you'd want a Corvette. Anyway, there are lots of Corvettes in our neighborhood. And she saw one the other day and was just watching it go by with wide eyes. I was like, yeah, that's a Corvette. She's like, yeah. I said, if you had a Corvette, what color would it be? And she goes, I think I'd want a white one. I was like, you fucking want a Corvette now. So anyway, today on the way to Sesame Place, I said, look, it's great. We have two vehicles. Ever since the Steven Crowder thing, remember where Steven Crowder only has one car and he was keeping his wife from using it or something? There's a whole weird thing. We don't really know what any of that conversation meant, but there was something about only having one car and she wanted it and he said, you can't because you'll be stranding me here. I don't know what that was. A lot of people speculated that it was financial abuse. So what's called financial abuse, where clearly he has enough money to have more than one car. She should have her own car, but she doesn't have her own car, and that's like a controlling maneuver. Well, we have two vehicles. One of them is the Sprinter van, and the other one is our Lincoln. And we haven't really needed two cars beyond that. I've always said to Andrew, "Do you want a car? You want your own car?" No. Why would I need my own car? I'll drive the Lincoln when I need the Lincoln. We usually go places together. Like, why would it? Well, like there have been a couple of times since I've been involved in going to the warehouse back and forth and doing fulfillment where we bumped up on this whole thing. Like, okay, you can go to the warehouse with the car, but can you be back by 3:00? Because I got to go pick up Kaylee at volleyball or something like that. And it becomes clear. It's becoming more clear that we do need two vehicles. And I keep thinking about financial abuse and all these things. Like, am I abusing Andrea? Like, forcing her to stay home? She should have her own car. But I'm the one saying she should have her own car. This isn't me abusing her. It's her, like, she's saying, no, I don't want my own car. Anyway, we're driving around to Sesame Place. And I said, yeah, I think it's going to be time, like, to get a new car. And I think I'm going to keep this car. I'm not going to trade in the Lincoln. I'm just going to keep the Lincoln, and we're going to get another car. And that was how I presented it. And Andrea didn't say no. She said, yeah. And I said, so what do you want? You can choose it. What do you want it to be? And she's like, oh, I think like a Corvette. It worked. She wants a Corvette. So I'm going to get her a Corvette. And she said, I didn't want to get one before because Ava was too little and she, car seat and all this stuff. It's like, Ava's pretty big now. So she's 7 years old. And in New Jersey, she doesn't need a car seat. So, if Andrea needs to go somewhere and bring Ava, she can bring Ava, which is cool. But anyway, that's what she wants. I don't know. What kind of BS is this? Financial abuse? You can't have my money. It is mine. Well, when you're married, Bar Stewart, it's not my money. It's everyone's. It's our money. So her money is my money. My money is her money. It's our money. That's the whole thing. But there are certain types of guys, and I guess women too, who will say, no, I'm going to put you on an allowance, or no, you can't have what it is that you want, stuff like that. Even if there's no financial reason why, it's like, no, you can't have another pair of shoes. It's like, well, we have enough money. It'd be easy to get it. Nah, you just can't. That kind of thing would be financial abuse, I guess. I don't know. You're like a financial Kathy Bates in Misery, says Rashma Taro. It's the opposite of that. Andrea can have whatever she wants, truly. But like Andrea's like, Andrea and I both grew up really poor. And so, Andrea's thing is like always like, she lives like it's the Great Depression, trying to get her to like, do you want like for shoes? You want another pair of shoes? I have shoes. Yeah, but you want another pair? You can have another pair of shoes. I don't need another pair. I have a pair of shoes. It's like, no, but you can have more than just enough. Like, think about that idea. You can have more than you need. You can have several pairs of shoes. She's something else. She's a good woman. Yeah, why does she need shoes when she's always in front of the oven, says Simply Green. That's a good point. Mustangs are way less ugly now. I think maybe I like the new Corvettes. Let me see, says Anus Holic. Well, we just saw we saw one driving by, and really it was beautiful. It was a beautiful looking car. We for the first time we saw one together was we went out to breakfast, and somebody had parked there in the parking lot. Both of us were just like bowled over by it, and then one drove by us yesterday. So if that's what she wants, she can have it. I like the idea of Andrea having a kick-ass car that like Kaylee's friends will be jealous of, and that Kaylee will want to drive, but Andrea can say nope. New Corvettes are awesome, says George Monty. Yeah, they just look really, really nice. Matthew White says, marriage is the worst thing that ever happened to me. Why didn't anyone tell me before I became trapped in this hell for so many? Oops, I mean, life is... Are you okay, Matthew? Oh, a bad marriage is bad. I'm in a pretty good one right now, I gotta say. Right now. I'm in a good marriage. I'm happy about it. I'm happy about my wife. But yeah, when you're in a bad marriage, it sucks, dude. It sucks so bad. Every day's fucking hurt. But when you're in a good marriage, there's nothing I wouldn't do for Andrea. She's terrific. C8 Corvette is the best American-made vehicle ever made. Best American-made vehicle ever made. C8 Corvette. Let me take a look at this. C8 Corvette. Yeah, look at it. I mean, it almost looks like a Lamborghini. Yeah. Yep. Okay, let me show you this. Seriously. Oh, Andrea deserves this. She really does. Look at that. Look at this. This is exactly what she'd be looking for. You know, and the top comes off. That is nice. I mean, that is a cool car. That is a car that says, I plan on having fun today. Drive that to the beach, and you just say, today is going to be a fun day. I don't know if that's something that you drive to go get groceries. Like she'll drive the Lincoln to get groceries, but yeah, let's just go out and just have a good time. They're called Corvettes, or for old people, says Cage Superman. Well, they're I mean, you know, are they for old people? When you see like really nice sports cars, it is inevitably always fat old men who get out of them because it's just like it's like a midlife crisis thing, and they're kind of expensive. And the people who should be driving these are like 22-year-olds, like really attractive young people, but they can't afford this. So very few of them can, unless they're like actors or musicians. Isn't Ethan too old for midlife? Yeah, I already had my midlife crisis, Bull Rush. I already had it. I remember it vividly. Boy, did I have fun. Oh my God. My midlife crisis, just drinking, getting awful tattoos. That's fucking great. Partying with Andrea, divorce. Oh, good time. Your big ass is gonna fit in it, says Twigs. Yeah, I can fit in that, sure. I mean, I'm fat, but I'm not that fat. Yeah, Corvettes look beautiful, so you have something nice to look at when you're in the car shop. And no offense to your wife, but that's car abuse to give a Corvette to a woman. Is it? I mean, I don't care. Whatever she wants, I don't care. This might just be a thing. Like when she sits down and finally decides what kind of car that she wants. You know, it might not be this one. It might be something like might be a Mercedes or something. Something nice. I want her to have something nice for once. Just to be stuck with me. Just to be married to me. She might as well have like a nice car. Get the chick magnet version. I don't want her to have a chick magnet car. Let me see. I always see old convertibles with two old bald men in the front seat and no women. Really? I always see like we've got a couple of Lamborghinis in our neighborhood, and I always see like the guy gets out and he's a fat old guy, like he's in his 60s. And I'm like, man, God bless you. Like, you know, if you're a car guy, you probably sat there and looked at these Lamborghinis your entire life as a young man. And then finally you get to a point where your bank account is healthy enough that you can sit there and you can afford a Lamborghini, but you're in your 60s, you know? It takes a while to be able to just drop $300,000 on a car for most people. But you do it because you know what, life is short and you only get one go around. Like if you really think about it, life is short, you only get one go around. If having a Lamborghini is something that you want to do, then you should really try to do that in your life. It's not important to me at all, but I can see why it would be for like other people. Like I really want to have a Lamborghini. Save up for it and eventually you'll be able to get one, and you should. You know? Life is short. Enjoy it. Get a Lexus, says Old Men Yelling at Clouds. I think that's a little bit. I mean, I like Lexuses, but I think that's like not as fun as Andrea wants. You know, it's a ticket magnet. Yeah. Maybe it is. I see Andrea doing the speed limit in this, though. They all break, says a Julian Caesar stormtrooper. Yeah, but good news. My son. Mr. Beast says, hold my beer, says FP Sonny. Yeah, that's for sure. Mr. Beast could buy a million of these for his friends. But very few people can afford it. Lexus are just fancy Toyotas. Yeah, Hunter fixes the cars all the time. Like I broke the tail light. I backed in too close to the loading dock in the warehouse. I broke the tail light of the Mercedes Sprinter van. He just came right over and fixed it. He ordered a new one, a new tail light, installed it. I was like, damn, dude, it's paying off. Sending you to tech school is paying off, dude. Awesome. So anyway, that's what's what. Maserati has some good ads on YouTube. Had women diving or driving. You can't fix a tail light? No, I can't. No, he had a whole. He had to put he installed the whole thing. I was impressed by it. Tail lights are easy to fix. EVS, Twilights. You meant tail lights, are they? I don't know. I've never done it. You could just pop the old one out and pop the new one in. It isn't hard. Oh yeah. Okay, now I feel stupid. Really? Tail light is like one screw to change that shit, says Barb Rogers. It is. Why did I pay him so much to do it then? I don't know. Simple fix. Yeah. All right, I didn't know that. Now I'll be able to do it myself. Now I'm gonna be like, I know how to do it. It's just one screw, Hunter. You can't fool me. We need more techs in this world. Yeah, we absolutely do. It takes like 3 minutes tops. Hold on, I'm getting owned on the internet. It takes like 3 minutes. It does? It would have taken me 3 hours. I don't know how to do that. Damn it, you all just ruined Hunter's grift, says Bar Stewart. I know, because he comes over and he'll be like, listen, Dad, I ordered the part. I'll change your oil. I'll put the new tail light in. Be like $400, Dad. $400? Yeah, Dad, it's like, okay, yeah, $400. All right, no problem. Yeah. EVS is like my dad was. The more money he made, the more manual labor jobs he forgot how to do, says our guest. Just let me draw. That's all I want to do. You know, last thing I need to be doing is messing around with other things. I need to be drawing. I got Rainbow the Brute to do. Every single day I got people going, where's Rainbow the Brute? How's Rainbow the Brute? I don't know. I'm too busy fixing tail lights. I'm too busy fixing tail lights to work on Rainbow the Brute. Sorry about that. That's not acceptable to people. Thank you all very much. I'm looking. It looks like we're selling things on eBay. Let me look at eBay real quick here. Go to our eBay store, Cyberfrog9. The link is in the description below. Order some hats. Choose a beautiful beanie here. You know what? It's wintertime. You're going to need beanies now. Wintertime is right around the corner. It's actually very cold. I woke up. It's like 40 degrees outside. I'm like, thank goodness I have my All Caps Comics beanie. I have my Comicsgate Creative Freedom beanie. Lots of baseball caps. Lots of fun stuff. You know, if you're Comicsgate, why not show it by wearing a beanie, wearing one of the t-shirts, wearing a sweatshirt, one of the hoodies that you can get if you're a member of this channel. And if you're not, maybe you want to just check out All Caps Comics anyway. We definitely have All Caps Comics merch. We have hats and beanies that are All Caps Comics branded. That is, of course, the Van Skyver's family's publishing company. And you can get the books right here on our eBay store. Right here, Ultimate Blood Honey Ghost Edition. We've got a crate of these still, so we've got about 80 of these. But that's it. This is we're pretty much out of Blood Honeys. We've got some. We got these line art editions. We've got a few of those of the first printing, et cetera, et cetera. And there are still some things here that are on sale. Red sale. Here we go. There's still some red sales here that you can get a really good 40% off price. The Salamander and Cyberfrog Heather Swain Dale Keown poster is up here. Lots and lots of different things. Check out our eBay store. We will be adding the action figures to our eBay store. Oh my God, we still have some executive edition, warts and all. These are so beautiful. It's a really, really good set. And it comes with the exclusive Frogapalooza zine hardcover book, which contains pretty much all of the Cyberfrog work that I did before Cyberfrog was published. So you get to see all of this, just like amateur shit. There's like a Cyberfrog Wolverine 3-pager. We had to change it and make him Wolverine with a B and change his costume a little bit so that we could publish those pages. But all that stuff is in here. It's a lot of fun to look at, I guess. I guess it is. I don't know. For me, it's painful, but maybe for you, it'll be fun. Go to our eBay store. We will have the Wreck Planet books, and we will have Blood Honey Chromium books. We will have all of those things up on our eBay store eventually for your convenience. But before we do that, go to our Dark Harvest campaign. Dark Harvest currently has all of the books at the lowest price that you're going to be able to get them. Once they move over to our eBay store, the price goes up. If you back them here on our Dark Harvest campaign, you will get them at the lowest price imaginable. And that's just temporary, understand. And these are, when you're a backer, you get the best price because we just appreciate you. You're helping make this stuff happen. But once it happens, once this stuff already exists and other people pulled your weight to make it happen, then the hell with you. We're going to charge you full price. We got to protect the investment of our backers after all. This is very important. When you back a comic book for $25 here, we want to make it so that you can sell it for $100 later if you want to. You're never going to want to. Cyberfrog, you don't want to keep all your Cyberfrog stuff. My beautiful Dark Twisted Faggotry says, I'll wait to get it for $5. Just see what happens. That was the worst. Oh my God. Oh! That was the worst thing in the world. I won't say anything about that. You will never be able to get a Cyberfrog book for $5. And here's the thing. We will raise the price of the books a little bit when we move them over to our eBay store. We'll raise them just enough so that if you sell them, you'll be able to undercut us and still make a profit. We want to do that. We also want to do the thing where, with our Wreck Planet campaign, there are certain items in our Wreck Planet campaign that, didn't cost any more than anything else, but we kept the quantity strictly limited. And therefore, you're going to be able to sell them for a lot of money if you back them early on. One of those items should be coming in today. It is Black Riding Hood by John Malin. Black Riding Hood is going to be it is strictly limited. We printed, we saw 1,150 copies are sold. I printed 1,400 copies. 100 of those are going straight to John Malin. The rest of them that are left over are going to sit here in case anybody's get lost in the mail, get damaged, and then we're destroying them. They will not be for sale anywhere else. Our backers will receive their copies that they ordered, and that's it. And they paid $20 for them, and they are strictly rationed and limited. So that's the thing to do. Trump cover too, the Trump mugshot cover, was for sale for a week. And the number that we sold is the number that we printed, and that's it. That's all. So if you missed it, you missed it. But those of you who did back it are going to should be able to find some buyers on the secondhand market. The Wreck Planet Blood Honey, Wreck Planet Honeycomb boxes are selling very easily for 2 to 4 times what people paid for them on eBay. It's wonderful. Why? Because we strictly limited them. You don't have to do that for everything. We don't want to strictly limit everything. Wreck Planet, the Jay Lee cover, I printed 9,000 copies of that, which is a lot for us. It's not very much for some other people, but 9,000 copies of that one particular cover is a lot. We're going to have like 1,000 of those left over to sell after we're done fulfilling. But some of these covers are very limited indeed. The Foot in Your Face Stalker edition of Cyberfrog Wreck Planet, 700 copies exist. That's amazing. In chromium, in chromium. I think Our Family is like 900 copies. Some really, really good limited variants for Wreck Planet. It's nice. Just keep the numbers low. Let me see here. Ice on bargain bin. Zack did a $1 comic. Come on, E, says Perth. Terrible idea. God, that was a bad idea. I mean, here's the thing about that. When you're crowdfunding, it's easy to get confused and think this is like sales. When you're crowdfunding, you're trying to raise money to make a product. And my thing is, I've always said to people, the number of backers, having a lot of backers isn't really that good. I only care about how much money I raise. If I could raise $1 million from one backer, I'd rather do that than raise $1 million from 1 million backers, obviously, because then I only have to ship to one person, but I still have the same amount of money to make product. And all I'm here to do is make product, right? The customers will come later. They'll come on our eBay store. They'll find the stuff. It's easier to get people to buy something that already exists than to say, please help me make this thing so that, I can sell it and I will give you one when it's done, which is what crowdfunding is. To sit there and say, I want more, Zack. To sit there and say, I want more backers. And therefore, I'm going to sell this comic book, which cost me probably $7 or $8 to print, for $1. Goddamn! Oh, my head is starting to hurt. And so, why do I want to do that? Well, I want to invite more people to read my Jawbreakers comic book, so that maybe they'll come back and they'll buy the next one at full price. Was such bad thinking. I mean, it wouldn't be so like if the Jawbreakers book already exists, if you take your own money and you make a Jawbreakers book like a special edition and nobody backed it already, it's not for backers, it's only for people who buy it, and you want to sell that for $1, I guess that would be okay, even though it's a waste of money. And the book will never be worth anything, and people won't really take you seriously as somebody who makes comic books for reading and collecting. But you could do that. But to do that for backers, like, dude, you're not taking in enough money to make the comic book. You can't do that. Oh my God, that's infuriating. I saw him do that and I just shook my head. And people were like, no, Ethan, it's a loss leader. Yeah, it sure is. Agent Cub says, Bill Burr's movie, Old Dad, sucked. It's basically a movie about neutering Gen Xers and making them toe the line. I don't think anyone's funny, so I don't really watch those movies. I mean, you got to be kidding me. So now you've taken in, you get like 4,500 backers and you've received $1 a piece from those backers plus shipping. Now you got to print 4,500 copies of a book that costs $7 or $8 a piece to print. And you've only taken $1. And then, yeah, that's good. That's a great way to immediately go out of business. Yeah, I don't know, with crowdfunding again, it's like I should do more like I don't want to be this guy who's like, I'm going to do lectures on how to do crowdfunding, but like I feel like I need to because there's some people doing like really dumb things. And I realize my books are late all the time and all this stuff. Yeah, they are, but they're great quality and I make money at this. We actually make money. Everything's scalable. We're able to do this and create a high quality product. And we do it in such a way that we're running a business and it's working. It's actually profitable. But I feel like, yeah, like I should like do lectures and be like, this is let me remind you what crowdfunding is. If you want to do sales and you want to do $1 a book, then you can do that because the books already exist. Go ahead and sell them. If I wanted to take Amphibionics #1 and sell them for $1 just to get people out there, they already exist. I got a few crates of them in the back room over there. I want to sell them for $1 so that people can get a Cyberfrog book for free and then maybe become a creator or a collector of Cyberfrog. That would make sense. But if I was like, I want to make Amphibionics #1, and they don't exist yet, and I want to get crowdfunding backers to like give me $1 to do it, that's like counterintuitive. That's not the purpose of crowdfunding. Again, purpose of crowdfunding: raise money to make a product, to be able to make a product from zero, to be able to afford to do that, to pay the printing bill, to pay the creators, to pay everybody to make it. You can't do that if you can't do that. You can't put a loss leader in a crowdfunding campaign. God damn it. Sometimes I just want to be like, "Argh!" That's not me choking anyone. That's me masturbating. Sorry about that. You got a math guy, says Elmer. Math guy, like somebody to do math? I have an accountant. I have Andrea, sure. Money is fungible. That is true. Money is fungible. You can't read Cyberfrog on the toilet, though, says Road Tax Hippie. Why not? Go ahead and do it. It was an apology for killing the Jawbreakers and bringing them back in a dubious way. That was funny, too. I don't know. Look, I'm just saying. It doesn't matter. It's an apology. Thank you. You can't afford to make the comic book like that. You can't. You got to be able to make the comic book. Also, charging $5 for something that you charge $35 for, to some people, is a big mistake. And the reason why, and I don't want anybody to get sensitive. Don't get your nose out of joint over this. The reason why is that some people who paid $35 for it are bound to feel like you owe them a refund. The idea is nice. It's nice in theory to sit there and say, yeah, this I'm gonna put my book out there. It's gonna be it was $35, $5 now. So everyone can afford it. That's nice. But when some people paid $35 for it just a few months ago, those people are going to say, don't you owe me? I want $30 back. Give me my $30 back. Why did I have to pay $35 for this? It's one thing. You could do a slight discount. Feel free. You can do a little special. We're doing a special. It's Christmas time. But yeah, when it's like from 35 to 5, those are those are clearance prices. Those are liquidated. Everything must go. We're closing up shop prices. That's not good, dude. I'm not somebody who wants to sit around and tell people that I know everything about business either. I don't want to do that because I don't. I'm just feeling my way around, and everything's kind of intuitive. Like you sort of feel your way around in the dark about things and go, what's going to happen if I do this? What would happen if I took like blood honey boxes and sold them for $2? I mean, listen, we'd clear them out of the warehouse. That's for sure. But what would also happen is that the people who paid $50 for them would be like, hey, asshole, where's my $48? And they'd be right. I'd be like, okay, I got a refund. Now I'm not making any money at all. I wasn't making any money to begin with, but I'm not making any money because I'm refunding people. I'm giving their money back for sales I already made. Wait a second. That's not a good idea. I shouldn't do that. That doesn't make sense. If anything, I should raise the price. If I want to sell something a little bit more, listen to this idea. If I want to sell something a little bit more, I'm going to raise the price by $2. Sorry, it's more valuable now as time goes on. That actually helps the people. Here's what it does. It helps the people that already bought it. And it creates an idea that of perceived value in the minds of other people. I don't know. It just is what it is. Let me see. I'm still mad at you for that you charged me $20 for shipping the hoodie. Other eBay hoodies don't cost that much for shipping. I checked. Yeah, but we ship out of the house. We know how much things cost to ship. Thank you, Frankie. Believe me, I hear about it every single day. Every morning I got to hear about what shipping costs. And now I've got my shipping, I got my stamps.com account and my fucking printer right here. See this printer right here? So now I'm actually faced with what things actually cost to ship, and it's no joke. It's pretty sobering. Brothers Hyborian says, what I miss? Everything. You missed your opportunity for truth and knowledge, education, all of these things. But don't worry. It's not too late. It's not too late to join us here. WR Winter says, wow, that sure is a printer. This is a label printer. This is a Rollo. This isn't like a regular. This is like a regular. Not like a regular printer. This prints labels so that I could sit here at my computer and say, print out the shipping labels of all the packages that I send you guys. Madness and Vector says, how's Gabe doing? I think he's doing good, actually. I haven't really talked to Gabe very much, but I think he's doing all right. He's doing a Dean Cain book. He's got a comic book about Dean Cain, which I guess is doing okay. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's not something that I would do. But he's friends with Dean Cain. He's making like this Dean Cain like super spy comic book. It's a fine idea. Geartooth Cartoon says, when is Rec Planet going to be on eBay? We want to get it up there in November. We're pushing to get both of these campaigns finished and fulfilled by Halloween, which is next Tuesday. So everybody's working really, really hard to get Rec Planet completely done and in the mail, so that you'll be able to buy it on eBay November 1st. That is the plan. Let me see here. I hate that I missed. Wait, darn it. Comic Artist Pro Secrets. Hate that I missed. Well, that's okay, Brothers Hyborian. WR Winter says, we are very impressed. Let me see. If I've missed everything, it means I've missed Rainbow the Brute. Shoot. No, you can still definitely back Rainbow the Brute. That is still available. So custom shipping labels next, says Madison Vectory. No, I don't think so. Oh, you missed your opportunity for Truth, Justice, and the American Way. Yeah, that's Gabe El Taib. Chris Topher says, can it print these nuts? What if it was like a preview of like 5 pages for $1? Yeah, you could do that. If you want to. You can do whatever you want to do, as long as it's within, like, if it makes sense. Like, if the book that you're going to make is going to cost under $1, then you can do that, sure. Let me see. Smiller's post about artists was so stupid, says Steve Giblin. Yeah, I think that Mike kind of makes these kind of passive aggressive veiled shots at me, but like he hides that they're about me, so he ends up kind of saying things that don't really make sense. Let me see here. All right, I'll show you this. This is what like Smiller's post. Something comic book artists don't like hearing, but it's the absolute truth. It's the writer that makes you a name. Poorly written comics with stellar artwork don't become legendary collections. Name an A-list artist, and I'll tell you the A-list writer that carried him. That's Miller. And it's like, what about Ethan Van Sciver? So Sky High Rise. So yeah, Jeff Johns is responsible for EVS, blah, blah, blah. His impulse work was pretty forgettable. Yeah, I mean, I think in my case, it's pretty fair, although it's not just Jeff Johns. Like there is, let me see, where's my response to this? I don't know. But anyway, it's not just Jeff Johns. And first of all, there are plenty of writers who made it without having an artist attached or a writer attached to them. It's not the writer. Like in a lot of cases, like look at Alex Ross. Alex Ross actually made Kurt Busiek. Kurt Busiek was nobody, and then Alex Ross came along and made him something special. Mark Waid's Kingdom Come. Hate to say it, but listen. When you talk about Mark Waid, you go, what did Mark Waid do? He did a lot of things. Mark Waid has been around, but people still say Kingdom Come. Why? Because of Alex Ross. So Alex Ross made Mark Waid. Alex Ross made Kurt Busiek, and they might not like to hear that. Travis Charest, or Travis Charest. Nobody's quite sure how to pronounce his last name. Travis Charest is an artist who has never worked with a good writer, ever. Not a great writer. There's no Travis Charest book that you're like, oh yeah, that was a great story. Nobody says that. It's always the artwork. It's entirely the artwork. Stephen Platt never worked with a good writer, ever. It's always his artwork. Todd McFarlane. Todd McFarlane was an artist who worked with decent writers, but it definitely was not David Michelini that got Todd McFarlane's some attention. It was, the fact that his work looked so unique and was so interesting. Rob Liefeld, same thing, has never worked with an A-list writer. Jim Lee has never really worked with didn't become Jim Lee because of having worked with an A-list writer. Again, it was his artwork. Stories were always just functional. But sometimes there is a moment where, yeah, that does happen. For me, it's like, okay, why? Why did I become a superstar? Why did that happen? Well, a bunch of things happened at once. I was working with Jeff Johns, fantastic writer, on The Return of Hal Jordan, which was a timely book. I mean, everybody just was an important moment. Working with Jeff Johns on an important book, I already had a very unique and expressive comic book art style. And the book was good. Those four things kind of together, all worked together to make me. That was what made me kind of stand out. It wasn't just working with Jeff Johns. In fact, I can't really think of too many artists whose careers were made just because they worked with a writer. So Mike is really stupid. It's not that, because I mean, like hundreds of artists have worked with Jeff Johns, and they're all like, there aren't too many of them that have kind of stood out. There are a few that have stood out. Jeff Johns made the career of Scott Collins, I think, made the career of Ivan Rice, all these guys who were pretty good artists, and then they worked with him and now they're superstars. But that's kind of a rare thing that happens. It's really a combination of a bunch of different factors. And a lot of artists have stood out despite, never working with a really spectacular writer. Usually the best writers find artists after they're already known. Like Mark Miller, he works with artists who have really made themselves, like Steve McNiven, John Romita Jr. These guys, he's working with them now because their names are already known. They're already superstars. So you're right about that. Mike S. Miller's postings are stupid. Catch up with you guys here and see what you want to say. Mark Miller, yeah, Mark Miller's great. I'm subscribed to him somehow. I get all his books in email digitally for free. Let me see. Mike is not very smart. JDA has Dankstream. Mike joins. We turn it to the Malin versus PTP. Smiller is sad. Why is Smiller sad about that? John Malin versus PTP is hilarious. Whole thing is great. Let me see. Jeff said it was also you with the other layer of art, says Madison Factory. Yeah, like I'm a special artist. I'm a special needs artist. But listen, there are a lot of really good artists who just need they need that moment where they click with everyone. And for me, that was Green Lantern Rebirth. Absolutely. And I would give Jeff Johns, in like 100% credit for, my success, but like, it's not actually true. Like it's a bunch of different factors, and it would be kind of like not really helpful to say something that's stupid. You know, writers can't make artists. Artists have to, first of all, they have to bring something to the table. And also, you know, look at like a good writer. Dan Didio wrote Metal Men, but let's just say it was somebody like Mark Waid, you know, who's already like, you know, known as a writer and everything, would be considered in his prime an A-list writer. Mark Waid writes Metal Men and Shane Davis draws it. Is it going to help Shane Davis? No, because nobody cares about Metal Men. Simple as that. Shane could do a great job on that. Nobody's going to care because nobody cares about Metal Men. Waid was a good writer. I don't think Ross made Waid, says Danky Frankie. Yeah, made, quote unquote, made Mark Waid. Not really fair either, but like gave him his gravitas. Right? I mean, you know, Mark Waid was doing some decent, like, you know, superhero comics. He was the nerdy guy around the office, you know, back in the 80s, early 90s. And then they kind of gave him a shot. And he was writing some good, decent, like, fairly geeky, like, lore-based superhero comics. But really, I mean, you know, when Alex Ross came in and painted Kingdom Come, it gave Mark Waid gravitas. Like, I'm doing serious work here. Claremont and Jim Lee, says Madison Vectory. Yeah, some people said John Byrne wasn't somebody who was made by a writer, but like, I think he kind of was because Chris Claremont was like A-list, and John Byrne had been working all through the 70s, right? Early to mid 70s. And then when he got on X-Men with, it could be character too that counts. When he got on X-Men with Chris Claremont, like that's when he really blew up. Everybody saw him and thought he was good, but like when he got on X-Men, that was big, and that led to him being able to do his own stuff, like write for himself. Cheesy Tarian says, dude, it's 5:30 in the morning. Don't you sleep? Yeah, I went to bed last night at like 7 o'clock. And woke up almost, this is morning for me. I was supposed to do a live stream yesterday. Andrea said, are you going to do a live stream today? And I said, yeah, I will. And then I didn't. I went to sleep. I hung out with the kids and I went to sleep early. So I'm up doing my live stream now. I don't know if doing a live stream at 5:30 in the morning is a great thing, but I'm having fun. Oni FC. Hi, Uncle E. One of the orders I received last week, I got all the perks, but not the books. I did message you, but I haven't heard back yet. What? By the way, nice John Malin Halloween pick. Oni FC, I'll take care of you. Oni FC, you messaged me. Did you message me personally or Cyberfrog Help? Somebody they put these things together assembly line. I guess they closed the box up without putting the books in there. That's smart, guys. Let me see. No need to sleep when you're Comicsgate. Ethan's globe, Cecil's love, John's heat will sustain you. Let me see. Travis Charist. Oh, he did some work with Mark Miller earlier this year. Miller's pretty good, in my humble opinion. No kidding. Yeah, Mark Miller is fantastic. Let me see. Smiller has a smug, punchable face. Oh my God, it is true. CG forever, says Left Nuts. 4:30 a.m. here, says Susan Dolan. Yeah. Sheila's back. Yay. Is Sheila back in here? All right, good. I treat that Peloton like my Temu Cecil. Oh, really? You'd ride it all the time, you mean? EBS back to cash grab. Duh. Of course I did. Why did Mark Waid fight with so many of his editors, says Veronica Electron? He's a very temperamental guy. Mark Waid is somebody who I believe didn't really get his ass kicked in high school because he was the little guy. I think he skipped a lot of grades. I don't remember the whole Mark Waid story, but Mark Waid graduated high school at like the age of 12. Something like that. So, imagine being like, an an 18-year-old and there's like a 12-year-old who's like supposed to be like a super genius, who's kind of getting special treatment because you know, he's very smart and he's in high school, but he's like prepubescent. You kind of leave him alone. Like your whole life is different when you're that guy. When you're like this kind of, I think this is I can't remember how old he was, but it was a really weird life where yeah, he's like 12 years old in high school. Oh, you emailed Cyberpunk Help. We'll take care of you, Oni FC. Sorry for the inconvenience there. Yeah, Doogie Howser. So he was retarded. Yeah, kind of like when you when it's gonna, yeah, you might be able to pass the grade, like, and everything. You might be able to pass the classes, but like socially, it's gonna do something to you when you're away from your peers. You know, when you're surrounded by people who don't take you seriously because you're too young, and that's you growing up, your childhood. It's going to do something to you. And Mark is kind of like stunted in a lot of ways, in my opinion. He's permanently stunted. He's very childish, which is fine because he, you know, he works in the comic book industry, but his behavior is really strange. You know, he'll throw fits and temper tantrums. Like when I think about, you know, him going, fix this now, look at me. You know what I mean? Here's Mark Waid was like, I'm going to be interviewed by you on your channel. He came on the show. I gave him a really dignified interview on the live stream. You can still watch that if you want to. So Mark Waid's being interviewed by me. And during the interview, one of you rascals decided to change your name to Mark Waid. You pretended to be. This happens all the time now. It's silly. It's like, I can't believe it was even a thing back then. But somebody changed their name to Mark Waid in the chat. And Mark Waid threw a holy fit over it. Somebody's impersonating me. Your fans deserve to be fucked by rusty chainsaws. I got these messages from him that were just crazy. I was like, Mark, it's no big deal. He's like, it is a big deal to be impersonated. To be impersonated on your show. And I was just like, what the hell? And he's like, I'm going to Paris, but you have to fix this. Fix this now. And he was saying just the worst things about you guys. Saying your fans are scum. They're pieces of shit. It's just weird. I was just like, Mark, calm down, dude. And part of me laughed because like, I was like, this can't be serious. Like, this has to be a bit. This has to be kayfabe. I don't think it was a bit. Like, I think he's just like fucking like crazy. I think that was just craziness. Let me see. Drunken McCastle. Thanks for $10. Will Magnus built his own android girlfriend way before it was plausible, but the book was still called Metal Men. It may be lame, but it's based as fuck. Oh, that's true. Very Japanese. Building a girlfriend. Ryan O'Neill says, stop. He wants to inject himself into. Can I inject on this conversation? Yes. What would you like to say about this conversation? Oh. He's not even saying anything. He says, gooch my cleft asshole. That's not helpful to this conversation, Ryan O'Neill. And you're not really Ryan O'Neill. WR Winter says, why didn't you fix this now? I tried my best to fix it. I did make a video and said, you naughty. How dare you guys? Wow, old Jay. Received my Wreck Planet box in rural Queensland, Australia last Friday. Honestly expected to be the last to receive it, so thank you so much. This is to help towards the price of shipping. I'll tell Andrea. Thanks so much and congratulations on this book, B. Oh, thank you, old Jay. I'm glad you got it. Yeah, it's $151 to ship to Australia. Andrea's just like, we're going to go broke shipping to all these guys. No, we're not. I have to like do the math for her. I'm like, look, here's how much money we have left to spend on the Wreck Planet campaign. And I'm like, you see all, like, this is the number that have to go to Australia. Let's say they're all $151. Here's the calculator. See, this is what it's going to cost. Sucks, but we'll be okay. She's just like, geez, why is it so much? Jeremy Burt says, still waiting for my second box. Yeah, I think we got 400 more to go. I got them shipping out. I said, take a break from the honeycomb boxes and go ship out some of the both comics, I think it is. I don't know what it is. One of these perks. Because there are still like 200 and something of those. Ship those all out. Friday, I said there's 1,776 orders still left on the first campaign. I need to see 1,599 before you leave today. Arbitrary number, 1,599. And so they did. They're 1,599 now. Jeff Sellers says, still waiting on my Black Light posters. Come on, man. What the hell? We shipped those out a long time ago. Jeff Sellers, cyberfroghelp@gmail.com. Ask Liam for help. He'll build you a warehouse down there. Yeah, I would have to print the books there in Australia. I'm still waiting for my Cyberfrog and Godlike variant cover, says Guy from Red Bank. Yeah, that's actually coming. We're actually going to do that. Let's see. That's really funny. You all think you're in the Illuminati, says Ryan O'Neill. Is it going to be this kind of a week? If it's going to be this kind of a week, just tell me right now, because I'll live stream every single day. You know what I'm talking about? So I haven't received Cyberfrog 3 yet. What's up with that? Creative Freedom Beanie. That's what you need, guys. Go to the eBay store. Will it be colored by Dale, says Madness and Vectory. Oh, that'd be nice. I think I'm planning on having a colored by Kyle Ritter, but I don't know. Agent Zero says, I'd say you're off to a great start, EBS. Oh, boy. KR Companion. Hey, Uncle E, are you still shipping out the red camo Heather Swain variant figures? I'm waiting on mine. Yeah, we're shipping out. Hold on a second here. Let me take a look at the Electric Blue campaign. Electric Blue. Ashboard Indiegogo. How are we doing on this? How are we doing? How are we doing on this campaign? All right, let's see. Yeah, we got a little work on this. The red camo Heather Swain figure, part of the exclusive to the Electric Blue campaign. As you can see, we have fulfilled 544 red camo Heather Swains. 565 to go. So that's a lot. We've got a lot of red camo Heather Swains to ship out, including yours, I guess. But we're making progress on this. I like shipping the action figures because pretty easy to put together those packages. Wreck Planet is a goddamn nightmare. That's an extensively difficult campaign to fulfill. We're doing the best we can. What is this? Allo 2. Ethan, I haven't received my Cyberfrog stuff. It's been a long time now. I didn't put my order in, but I expected it to arrive by now. Yeah, I can see what the problem is. You need to back the campaign. Australia getting theirs. Now both comics being sent. Yeah, forget those exec boxes, especially Andrew. Make him last. Never-ending story. I have no control over this. I mean, I guess I do. I could go to the warehouse and be like, find Andrew Westwater. Send his box. But yeah, it's really just, they're kind of going in order or something. Comicsgate is a colored hat group. My newest one is red. Oh, beautiful. Like 3+ apparel campaigns, still no CG Fez. Old man yelling at the cloud says, got some figures the other day. Is there supposed to be a paper between each one so they don't get damaged in shipping? Sometimes when they're, you mean like a tissue paper kind of thing? Yeah, when they're in the crates, like the crates that they were shipped to us in, there's a little piece of tissue paper in between them sometimes. And when I'm going fast about shipping them, I sometimes don't remove that paper because I'm just pulling them out of the box, putting them in another box. You know, I'm going as fast as I can. So sometimes there's a little piece of tissue paper in between them from the factory. I don't think it does much to prevent them from getting damaged in shipping, honestly. The bubble wrap does that. Yeah. Let me see. I wrote a song about you called Taking Back the Rainbow. Would you allow me to use Rainbow Brute in the music video? That'd be rad. No. No, I will not allow you to do that. Is it within my power to stop you? My figures came with bubble wrap between the figures. Yeah, that's right. Oh my God. It's Andrew's fault that Ethan has to go fast, says Madness and Victory. It is. Who can I blame? Yeah, I got to go over there to the warehouse. We're getting a bunch of second chance Wreck Planets out today. Doing the best we can. I got to be conscious of Andrew Westwater, though. He didn't get his exec box. What the hell is this? Let me take a look here. Planet dashboard. If I look up Andrew Westwater, am I going to find your order? Is that your name? Westwater. I found your order. Your order isn't too bad. I mean, it's, you know, you've got an exec honeycomb box and an Ides of March variant. Nothing wrong with that. That's not so bad. That's not complicated, Andrew. Why are we making you wait for that? What are we torturing you? Why are we torturing you? It sucks, man. I'll tell him today. I'll get it done. Yeah. All right. I hear footsteps upstairs. It looks like everybody's awake, getting ready to go to school. Fiendish 2 and CG merch went out the same day for me. Let's see what arrives first. My money is on Rainy, though. They went out the same day. Why would Rainy necessarily beat you or beat me? Jeremy Burt says, got second chance arriving today. Oh, nice. Waiting on Ides of March, says Perth. All right, we got a lot to do. It's pretty clear. Pretty clear to me that we got a lot to do today. Hunter's coming into work. Hunter is working in the warehouse with his friend Mikey. Hunter got a new job. New place hired him, a new garage. Still working for Chevy, but in a different location. He got bumped up like 1/3 in pay. Fucking awesome. Ryan O'Neill says, your money already got eaten by the Bitcoin monster. Now you're trying to sell whoever in order to cover your blah, blah, blah. I think you're thinking of Mike S. Miller. Bitcoin. Remember Mike just telling me, why didn't I buy Bitcoin in greater quantity? I have $100 worth of Bitcoin. I haven't looked at it in a long time. I just put $100 on it because I wanted to feel the pain. Bitcoin is up, says Leo. Yeah, it's not that up, though. Is it? Let me see what Bitcoin's at right now. I bought in at $100 when it was at, I think, like 26,000. I'm pretty sure I'm still losing money. Oh, no, it is up. 30,000. Oh, I should cash out. I probably made like $2. I should cash out of Bitcoin right now. It's up, dude. 30,000. Amazing. Alatus says, wait, when did you buy in? I bought in a couple of times, and I have always made money on Bitcoin. But like towards the end, when people were saying buy the dip, I went, I don't think it's going to stop dipping. And I put $100 on it. I think it was at 26 or 28,000. And it just kind of stayed there, fell below. You know, I was doing nothing but losing money on it. Just $100. So that's all. Yeah, why are you torturing me? Second chance as well, says Andrew Westwater. The reason why I'm letting them do some second chance is because it doesn't require me to sign anything. So I'm just like over the weekend when I had 4 guys working on Saturday. And I said, what's the most damage that we can get done with 4 guys, working in the warehouse? And I thought about making them do the toy campaigns. And I kind of enjoy doing the toy campaigns myself. So I just said, we're going to do Second Chance Wreck Planet, and you can do these all-ins. Or 4, no, not all-ins, 4 books in a folder, which ends up being 8 books in a folder because it was a subscription tier. So people paid $100 for 4 copies of Wreck Planet, ended up getting 8 copies of stuff and a folder. And so, I just said we made like an assembly line. They wrapped everything up in bubble wrap and put it, found a box big enough. And then I said, do 267 of these. And they said they got them all done. So I'm going to go in there today. I got the labels made. I gave them 100 labels, and I got the rest of the labels sitting here ready to go to ship all those out. But yeah, we got all those done. Pretty excited. You had a signature option on Second Chance, didn't you? Yeah. Signatures I'm going to have to do. But see, everything on the first Wreck Planet campaign is signed. Everything. And it's a real pain in the balls. I mean, it really is something else. But people who order the signature, that's fine. I can still get out a lot of books, a lot of stuff that isn't signed. All right, guys. What is this? Let's see. The Eastern Europeans and Russians are killing the mining because their electricity is super cheap. Why is YouTube sucking harder and harder every week? Question: does the Indiegogo price on Cyberfrog include shipping? Why don't I know this? No. There's shipping. There's shipping included. So if it's $25, probably it's going to end up costing $32 or $35 when shipping is added. Yeah. Let me see. 4 more hours. All right. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go. Everybody's awake upstairs, it sounds like. Let me see. I think I did a signature with the big tier, added a mug. Then I got another folder plus mug without a signature. Yeah, that campaign's not very big. I looked at it. It's like 1,400 orders still need to go out on that one. It's not such a big deal. We'll get through that quickly. Cyberfrog coin to the moon. Hold the line. All right. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chats. You guys have a great day. Please go to our eBay store, pick up some hats, pick up some merch, pick up some books, and support Cyberfrog Dark Harvest, Rainbow the Brute, support the action figure campaign, and of course, Cyberfrog 3 Red Extermination. We're going to have the new covers up for that one pretty soon as well. Wait. What do I close out with? Oh, I want to watch this real quick.
Wipe me down. Red bones, caramels, all on, stop and stare, all on, trying to steal.
I want to dance like that. Let me watch that again.
BOOSIEBADACZ, that's me. Wipe me down. Red bones, caramels, all on, stop and stare, all on, trying to steal.
I want to do dance fights with like villains. Maybe post my Second Chance as well by next year. Oh man, Andrew, you must be like pissed. Wait, I want to see him dance again. Hold on a second.
BOOSIEBADACZ, that's me. Wipe me down. Red bones, caramels, all on, stop and stare, all on, trying to steal.
What kind of dance is that? Can you guys do that? Is anybody here like able to dance like that? Cutting it down. Bearwolf says, I could do it. Lol, I'm a good dancer. That's like the best fucking dance. There's a whole lot of videos like that on TikTok where they're like villains doing that dance, and then you kind of show up and dance fight them by doing that dance. I don't get it. It's very millennial, but goddamn if it doesn't make me laugh every single time. It's great. Ryan O'Neill says, I hope you go to hell, racist. What the hell, dude? Why? Why do I have to have this for the beginning of my week? I'm trying to get stuff done. I'm trying to create cheer and happiness, and I've got people wishing that I go to hell and calling me a racist. Hold on, one more time. Let's watch this.
BOOSIEBADAC. That's me. Wipe me down. Red bone caramel, all long, stop and stare, all long, trying to steal.
Okay, everyone, have a great week. Let's go. Let's have a terrific week. Let's start it right now. Take care.